Three, two, one. Welcome, everybody, to episode 208 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Eric.
Corey.
No Will again this week. Will actually called in sick this week.
Under the weather.
Tried calling sick to work, and that didn't quite work out for him. But
I'm a little under the weather, so if I sound different, that's why, and I'm going to try not to cough.
Sounds
but
good.
I've got that tickle
Yeah.
in the throat.
Yep, that's annoying.
Yeah.
We also might sound different because I'm recording the episode on a different computer, on a 7, maybe 8-year-old laptop.
Nice.
So we'll see how that goes.
High-tech stuff around here.
Yeah, I already had to turn the recording volume down to 3% recording volume because it was just recording way too loud.
A Bush era laptop.
It is Bush era laptop. It's gonna sound different, no doubt. Our episode for today is we're going to be talking about our favorite games from the first half of the year, in no particular order. So you won't get a little preview to our Thummies episode at the end of the year. Although I've kind of already said what my favorite game of the year is so far, but it might have changed since last week.
Should provide a little context to our intro, Dan.
Yeah. But yeah, before we even start any of that, we wanted to talk a little bit about Nintendo President Iwata. For those of you that don't know, he passed away last weekend. Was it the Friday or Saturday? Was it Saturday?
I think it was.
I think we found out about it on Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday in Japan. They announced something Sunday night kind of thing.
Yeah. Because Eric texted all of us. I was out of the loop all day. I couldn't pay any attention to game news because we were at my parents and swimming and whatnot. So Eric texted us later on, and sure enough, we looked all that up, and I was legitimately sad about it.
Yeah.
I usually don't about celebrity deaths unless it was someone I was really really into. I'm just usually oh, that stinks, but I was legitimately sad about Nintendo President Iwata's passing.
Well, it's also because he's a character, I kind of felt the same way about Iwata as I did with Steve Jobs. I think they're two totally different types of people, but they have such a personality and character behind them that you can relate to them more personally than blank slate CEO.
Right.
ABCD,
Yeah, and not just that, but Nintendo, more so than anyone else, brings people joy. Video game wise joy. Their stuff's fun. And he's the reason for a lot of it. So that's another. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Steve Jobs. A lot of people swore by Mac products, and that's
it's like a cult.
Their guy. Yeah, a little
It's
bit.
like your team captain has died.
Yeah.
So it would be like Derek Jeter dying.
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even want to go there.
No.
I'm gonna feel old when he.
Yeah,
kicks the
right.
bucket.
No, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame soon, Dan.
I know.
That's bad enough.
It's nutty. But anyway, yeah, we're sad here about hearing. Oh, one of the things I want to talk about is he is in one of the most exclusive clubs there is, and that's being president CEO of Nintendo, of which there's only been 4 in their 100+ year history. So
wow, I didn't know that.
Think of that. That's quite the club he was a part of. So yeah, it was disheartening.
I was going to make a Club Nintendo joke, but
considering
Too soon.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Wait till next week.
Next week.
Remember it. Anybody have anything you want to tease for later on in the episode?
Just Rocket League and a little more Batman. Arkham Knight.
Mm-hmm. Corey?
I played, sort of, Square Enix's new CCG, Million Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to talk about that one.
Nice.
Other than that, I haven't really played anything this week other than a little Hearthstone here and there. But I did buy a game.
Oh.
Say what?
I bought a game. I haven't bought a game in a very long time. Etrian Odyssey Mystery Dungeon.
Oh.
For the 3DS.
Uh-huh.
It's funny. I'll just briefly talk about it here. I heard somebody talk about a video game on a podcast, and the whole time I thought they were talking about Etrian Odyssey Mystery Dungeon. And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. So I went home, found it on Amazon for $18, which is a pretty good deal. And it was a Prime Day sale, knocked $2.75 off. So it was $16 used. Come to find out, the game the person was talking about was that Persona Q game.
Oh yeah.
not Etrian Odyssey Mystery Dungeon. But
Right.
I'll get to play Etrian Odyssey Mystery Dungeon, see what that's all about.
Yeah. Persona Q is expensive for the 3DS. I think it's like $50.
Yeah,
So
it's
I do play it, but it's a lot for a 3DS game.
I'll say
So okay. So you'll be talking about that?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh, that's right. I played more Splatoon, so I'll talk a little bit about Splatoon. I played more Bioshock Infinite. I'll talk about that. I started playing Remember Me again, so I'll talk about that. And also a little bit of Rocket League. I think we're going to do an episode on Rocket League next week, because we'll have all played it, and it's a very popular game right now. So I think we should do an episode on it. We'll talk more in depth about it next week, I think. Yeah, that's all I got. Let's get into our main topic, shall we?
We shall.
We're going to be talking about our favorite games from the first half of this year. Will's obviously not here, but he did send in his
Oh, did he?
his list of games, so along with a brief description. So that's good. And these are, like we said, these are not in any order. So I'm going to call up Will's first. All right. Will's one of Will's games is The Order 1886. He said this game was not as bad as everyone made it seem. The story was good and the graphics are amazing. Also, very fond of the movie-like scenes. So, vote for The Order 1886 for William.
That's a Will kind of game.
Shocked that I'm not the only one that has that on my list. Wow.
So, yeah, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. I didn't think The Order was as bad as everybody made out to be either. The length isn't really important to me.
As long
more
as
about what I get out of it.
I was gonna say it's more about the right length,
Yeah.
than being too long or too short.
And I thought it was a good length
Yeah.
for what it was. And sure, the boss fights or whatever against the werewolves could have been better. But it was an amazing looking game. I think at the time I said it was probably the best looking game I played. And it's probably still is. I was into the characters. I was into the story. I can't wait to see what they do next with that, because they did set it up for a sequel. I think that they could really build off that game really well.
It's got a cool world.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, the characters were great. You really saw some progression there, and the relationships that they were building with each other was really cool too. So I thought the order was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Corey? What do you got?
I'm gonna start at the beginning. I think this is the first one to chronologically release on my list with Dying Light. January.
It was the end of January, like the
Okay.
24th or 29th or something.
I was surprised at how much I liked Dying Light and how good it was. We kind of knew a little bit of what we were getting into because it's from I don't know, is it the same developer or just the same publisher that brought us Dead Island?
I think it was the same developer.
Yeah. Techland.
Techland, yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of had an idea of what it was all about, but the best part about it was that it took what I really loved about Dead Island, which wasn't a fantastic game, but had some things that I liked about it. Namely the zombie killing playground aspect. And it did that masterfully in Dying Light and added a whole parkour element that was a lot of fun.
Worked really well too.
Yep. And even just the world itself, I felt it felt real. You know,
believable.
Yeah. And by the end of it, you can feel a little OP, which I like in that kind of game. You know, where I was just running around setting off the car bombs. So I'd just round up a bunch of zombies. They'd start chasing me, and I'd just press the button to set off car bombs as I ran by, and it would I'd be too far away, but I could hear the explosion, and then I'd just see all the experience pop up from all the zombies that I killed.
Nice.
But I had a whole lot of fun with Dying Light. I want to get back into it maybe towards the end of the year to see what's happening with the mod community and all that stuff, see what they've come up with.
Yeah.
But had a whole lot, a surprisingly a lot of fun with Dying Light.
Yeah. That's also on my list, Corey. I'll second Dying Light. I don't know. It was just a fun game. Like you said, zombie killing playground and the parkour. If they had screwed that up, it probably would have ruined the game. And I was actually worried about this game because they were one of the games that let reviews out really late. So people were scared, and I actually had it pre-order and canceled my pre-order because there weren't any reviews up. I was like, "Oh, this game's going to be garbage." But then I watched some people on Twitch playing it, and I read a couple of reviews on it, and it got solid reviews. So I was like, okay, I can still buy it. So
Did we ever find out why they did that? Do you think maybe they were worried?
I think they just screwed up. I think it was a like a PR department error. Not sending out the review copies in time or whatever. I got the impression that it was something along those lines. So
I can see that.
Next on Will's list, Will also put Dying Light on his list. So he said, literally only played an hour, but the game just felt great. Looking forward to actually getting into more. So that's Will's 2 cents on Dying Light.
Hopefully it has some legs, because I think somebody tweeted the news about Dead Island 2, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yep. Definitely. All right, Eric, what's your next game on your list?
I guess I'll go Heroes of the Storm next, which I just remembered came out this year.
Oh, yeah.
So I took something else off.
It's kind of been out a while, but it got released this year. So.
Yeah, officially released this year. Jesus, I put a shit ton of time into that game. I wish that there was an hour count on there, because I'd be interested to see how much Will and I have each put on. I know
Battle.net doesn't keep track of it?
I don't think. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe it does. But, Will's played more than I have. But, man, when you're playing well and you have a good team together, there's not really much better feeling for me in gaming. When you have, like, at least 3 friends playing with you, and it's just things are going well, and
things click, and
you just have a real solid victory.
Yep.
And everybody's playing off each other, and everybody's playing their role, and that's what I love about that game. And I feel so stupid sometimes for pumping like $5 here, $5 there into a new skin or a stim pack to get more experience, but like I don't mind, because I love the game.
Yeah.
So I don't mind supporting them, even though it is like just minuscule bullshit.
I had no problem doing that in Guild Wars either.
Yeah.
It was the same thing, because I wanted to support the developer. Like, they gave you a really good game for free.
That I love.
Exactly. So you don't mind tossing a few shingles. Shingles? Shekels. Thank you.
Shekels.
God.
Rubles.
I need to sleep. Rubles, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway.
But yeah, I mean, I get so excited when like a new map or a new character comes out. There's a new character next week. Leoric from Diablo's coming out. So I will be purchasing that. Yeah, I don't know. I find Heroes of the Storm, it's a love-hate relationship, but I know that deep down I love it.
Right.
So,
well, you wouldn't keep playing it if you didn't still love it,
No,
even through the bad times, you keep playing it, and that's how you know you love it.
Yeah.
Or you're addicted to it.
Heroes and we've had our ups and downs, but
yeah,
I always come crawling back.
Yep.
I too have HOTS on my list, Eric.
Do you really?
I surely do. I think it's a fantastic game. And as you so eloquently put it, it's a love-hate relationship, and for me, the hate is real strong. The love is real strong, but it's just I don't need any more hate in my life right now.
Yeah.
So I've sort of been avoiding it since I forget what episode I talked about my falling out with Heroes of the Storm. But yeah, the Blizzard treatment of a MOBA, and it's one of the few, or the only MOBA I should say, that I was really into.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Will also put Heroes of the Storm on his list. He says,
not surprisingly.
He says, yeah. I mean, come on, this game has consumed my gaming. So that's Will's thoughts on Heroes of the Storm.
Nothing else needs to be said.
No. Okay. I guess I'll go next then.
Go for it, Dan. Or you want me to?
No, I got it. The Witcher 3 I put on my list. 80 plus hours just went by in a snap of fingers for me playing The Witcher. I also thought it was a good ending to the trilogy, which doesn't happen very much. A lot of the other trilogies I've played have not ended as well as I would have liked. So Mass Effect being one of them, but that's another discussion for another day. So yeah, I thought The Witcher was awesome.
Did you have The Witcher on your list, Eric?
Yes. Only because I haven't liked much else that I played, I guess. I mean, The Witcher 3 is a good game. I don't think anybody can deny that, really. But the controls are fucking terrible. and that really pissed me off quite a bit in that game.
You know what? Actually, I read, Eric, and this was on Kotaku's thing. It's the PS4 frame rate is causing control lag.
Fuck that.
Well, that's what they put on their review.
I don't believe it. The controls are bad in that game. I really, really, as we talked about, enjoyed the first part.
Yep.
The first big mission set that you had to do with what's his name?
Bloody Baron.
The Bloody Baron. It's one of the best things I've ever played in a video game.
Uh-huh.
But man, the second part where you're looking for Dandelion, I thought just was dragging. And I'm just running to one person, to the next person, to the next person, and back and forth. And I just was not enjoying it at all. And it took me right out of it. I do want to go back and finish it, maybe. Just the main story. I probably won't do any of the side stuff. Hunting the monsters was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Coming across like castles and stuff was one of the things that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, the random stuff you find in the countryside.
Yeah.
Skellige's even weirder because it's an island chain, so there's even more like remote places on there.
Okay.
It's really cool.
See, I didn't end up going there. That was my next thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't grab me the way it did other people, but I can definitely see what the appeal is to it, and I'm not going to deny that it's one of the best games this year, even though it didn't grab me.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was on my list, Corey.
Well, I think you guys know my feelings, and I've said my piece multiple times, but I think that the problems in The Witcher 3 far overshadow the good. And I think I've said it before, but that game does one thing really well and a bunch of things mediocre and some things really bad. And that's like the storytelling is really good. And I'm curious, Eric, I haven't played as much as you guys. I don't know how many hours I have, maybe like 12 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But you say how you're chasing around Dandelion. I wonder how much of that was influenced by, we have this giant world. We might as well make them kind of run back and forth and see all this stuff in between.
Remember before the game came out when I said, how big of a world do you need?
Right.
There you go.
Exactly. And that's...
See, I didn't get that from playing it.
Yeah.
You didn't feel like you were just janking around from character to character looking for this asshole?
I mean, you were, but I never looked at it as a chore because I enjoyed the world so much, and I never had the control issues that you guys had either. So
well, control issues aside, I just thought that was just boring and repetitious, and I didn't get into the characters at that part like I did in the first section of the game.
Which I get. Like I said, I mean, a lot of them are repeat characters from the older games.
Yeah.
So if you have that connection to them, I guess that wouldn't be as egregious. I guess
I could see that.
I don't know. I think, and again, I think The Witcher 3 is really good at storytelling, but I think the first two games were better at it. I think the writing was better in the first two games. So as someone who's seen those things, to come to the third one and have what makes the Witcher series so great be not as good as it is in the other ones, even though it's light years better than some games, it just kind of turned me off a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it strikes a perfect balance for an open world game and storytelling, because storytelling in open world games is generally garbage. But The Witch, like I use Skyrim as a perfect example. Name one character from Skyrim.
Yeah, but it's at the same time, I see your point.
They're different at the same time as being how similar they are. They are different, and we talked about how Skyrim is not based on a character,
right?
And that's what sets them apart. Where Witcher is based on a character that has all that backstory and actual books.
Yeah,
and I think that's obviously that's why.
Which makes it better for me,
in your opinion.
Yeah,
I'd pick Skyrim.
Right.
Yeah, and to me, it's like I didn't come to The Witcher for an open world game. I came to The Witcher for good storytelling and characters, and it feels like they sacrifice some of that for the open world aspect.
I don't know.
If I want open world, I'm just gonna go play Skyrim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
The Witcher 3 didn't make my list, but I think Dragon Age Inquisition is a better example of an open world RPG.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree there.
Yeah, me too. I cannot agree
that's
with that.
fine. I think all the other like gameplay stuff, like combat and user interface and
Did they fix the UI?
They patched it. I haven't played it since, so I can't speak to that. But I know they were working on it.
What they did is they took your crafting items and they put them in their own separate category. They took all the books and scrolls and stuff and put that in their own separate category, and they gave you storage chests for extra stuff. So
that's good.
It's better. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it was.
Yeah,
because you don't have 100 books in your inventory, like just clogging everything up.
By the end of the year, maybe The Witcher 3 will be great.
That and Halo Master Chief Collection will be great. No, I shouldn't put those in the same group.
Yeah.
When The Witcher 3 comes out of early access, I'll jump right on it.
I don't think it's that bad.
No, it's not that bad. But it's just frustrating for somebody. Like, I was looking forward to that game since they announced it. And it's just frustrating to me.
Yeah, see, you being such a fan of the series, I could see how you would have been disappointed.
Yeah. That said, I have to go back to it at some point.
Yeah. My whole thing, Corey, is like, I don't know what exactly you were looking for in The Witcher. Like, I feel like no matter what, you wouldn't have been pleased with it.
I'm sure that's part of it. You know, it's expectations versus what was actually delivered.
Right.
It's just, to me, it feels like I just said, it's what makes the Witcher series so great for me. Is the storytelling and characters, and I feel like in this one it took a step back from that to do all these other things that it didn't do very well.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, I literally played The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3 like back to back, and I never felt like The Witcher 3. It's slower, no question. It's slower. It's an open world.
You don't feel like Geralt's interactions with other characters and stuff were better in The Witcher 2 than they were in The Witcher 3?
No, I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
I think the slowness of it is maybe what's throwing you off, because you spend a lot of time in transit. Like in the Witcher, we talked about this before, but we should move on. But we in The Witcher 2, like, it's a lot more directed. You know, the areas are smaller, and yeah, there's a little bit of exploration, but they're generally much smaller. Whereas obviously The Witcher 3 is much more grand, and there's more stuff to see and more exploring to do. You know.
Yeah, which is kind of my point. It takes away from that. From the storytelling aspect.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's too slow for you.
Yeah.
It was my point.
Yeah.
So.
And the reason it's too slow is because they tried to put all this other stuff into it.
Right, but like if that wasn't what you were looking for, then obviously you weren't going to like it. Like I thought it was just right, you know, for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's like you can do it and do it well. You know, you don't have to do it and you know what I'm saying? Like, just because it's
awesome. I never had any issues with it. Never.
Yeah, well, different strokes, I guess, but like just I don't know. I don't find that as a valid excuse. You can do it and do it well. And I don't think they did it well.
Right. Okay. Who's next? Eric?
My turn?
Yeah.
What do I want to talk about next? I think I'll talk about Bloodborne next.
Mm-hmm.
Bloodborne is the reason you should buy a PS4. I mean, if you haven't, Jesus, that game is fucking great.
Agree with that.
I didn't beat it. I don't know if I will ever beat it. I get so overwhelmed. Yeah. You know what I mean?
There's a lot there.
There's a lot there, and something else must have come out that stopped me from playing it.
What
The Witcher, maybe?
Maybe The Witcher.
Was it Witcher?
Could be. Because Bloodborne was March. The Witcher was end of April.
It's probably what it was. It was probably Witcher. But yeah, anyway, it could have been Heroes of the Storm, too.
It could have been HOTS, yeah.
But anyway, Bloodborne. I was having such a good time with it, and the feeling that I got from beating some of those bosses, especially the Bloodstar beasts that had kicked my ass repeatedly.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the boss fight, you're just like, my hands are shaking and my heart is pounding.
Yeah.
And that's any game that can make you feel that way. It's just such a good experience.
Totally agree.
Especially for a single player.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some multiplayer aspects to it, obviously, but for a single player game to make you feel that way and just get so engrossed in what's going on in there.
Yeah.
But yes, Riz, I would buy a PS4 to play Bloodborne. I think it's that good.
I would rebuy a PS4 to play Bloodborne.
Yeah.
So
it's just such a fantastic game. The world is amazing.
Yeah.
And like you're just so uneasy the whole time. It's a different uneasy than the Dark Souls series too, because it's got some sort, and like I said, I didn't beat it, so I'm not sure exactly what happens in the story, but it's got some sort of like religious cult thing going on.
There's like a plague in the city that...
Yeah, I don't know, but there's some sort of weird religious cult shit going on.
It does have more of a story than the Souls games.
Yes.
More of a narrative, I should say. I mean, the Souls games obviously have a story, but it's more present in Bloodborne.
Riz in the chat says that we must be made of money if that's how we think, but no. I think you've listened to us long enough to know that is not the case.
Yeah.
I just think Bloodborne is that good of a game.
Yeah.
$350 in the grand scheme is not that much money, and as we know, there are plenty of multi-platform games to go along with that. End of that discussion. But yes, anyway, Bloodborne, it gives you that feeling that not many other games can give, to me, at least. And I would really like to get back into it. It's just so overwhelming to jump back in at this point because the combat is...
It's specific.
Yeah, it's hard to get the hang of, and now that I'm out of it for so long...
Yeah.
I'm very
you might as well
intimidated
just start
to go
over.
Yeah, I'm not going to start back over. That's not going to happen. I'd rather take my lumps getting back into it and relearning the combat. Because, I didn't even play around with any weapons. I'm pretty sure I only used the starting weapon.
Okay.
And I wanted to do that on purpose. I wanted to use that throughout the whole thing.
Right.
And see if I could do it. But yeah, it's just such a fantastic game. I hope everyone gets a chance to play it because it's one of my favorite games. So
it's good stuff.
Yeah, fantastic. Corey, you got to play it, man.
Like I said, I got my lady friend's going out of town for about a week at the beginning of August, so hopefully I can figure something out.
You should definitely play Bloodborne.
Get in cahoots with your youngest brother.
Yeah. Old Will.
Yeah.
Wild Bill.
All right. I guess I'll go next, right? Batman Arkham Knight. I put on my list. Really like Batman Arkham Knight.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we talked about it before, but one of the biggest complaints of a lot of people was the Batmobile thing, which I ended up really liking. And I also thought the story was really good. Spoilers, I'm not going to talk about the story, what I liked about the story, but especially for me, like I said, not really knowing a lot of the characters and not being a huge Batman fan, I thought that game was awesome. So,
I haven't beat it, as we've said.
Yeah,
it is not on my list. I beat the first two, and they're two of my favorite games ever at certain points on my top 10 list. I don't remember if I still had one of them on my top 10 list or not. I would say this is the third best one.
Okay. Ahead of Origins.
Yes.
Okay.
Ahead of Arkham Origins, but I would put the other two far above Arkham Knight. I'm about, like I said, halfway through.
What about it would you put? What would put it below, like, say, Arkham Asylum, maybe?
I don't specifically. I can't remember because it's been so long.
I mean, a lot of it is it's not a new concept. I mean, it's the fourth game essentially in a series, so a lot of it is
fatigue.
The same,
Batman fatigue.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not into the Batmobile very much at all, and that's a big part of it. Obviously,
yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I think a lot of it is the fatigue of Batman. Honestly, I think that's a big part of why I'm not really into it that much.
Yeah.
I felt like Arkham Asylum maybe was a little more directed.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because City had the open. It was more open world.
Yeah.
Like Arkham Asylum, you went to the different parts of the asylum.
Yeah.
At a time, you could go back, but
I
they were
think
kind
that's
of
what I
sectioned
liked
off.
about it. I think Arkham Asylum is probably my favorite if I were to really boil it down.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. I just don't think Arkham Knight is all that great. It's okay. I do like the characters and the villains are cool.
Yeah.
I've always been like infatuated with Penguin because it's just like a normal.
What is he?
He's like a gun runner.
Yeah.
Like that's what he does. He's just like a a fast talking like businessman.
Yep.
Who's just a little douchebag.
Yep.
I love that. Like he's a villain in a superhero thing,
Yeah.
but he's not really.
He's an
anything.
average, unattractive, short,
Yeah,
squatty
dickhead.
Yeah, dickhead.
I like the idea of the Joker as a
Yep.
Riddler. Like I think all of the not all of them, but I like a lot of the Batman villains, which is a big draw for me. Especially, I should really get into the comics. I think I would enjoy them.
I only really read like Captain America, and it's all awesome. Like,
Yeah.
all the storylines are really cool, and it's always a lot more dark and violent than like, because when I was growing up, I was like, oh, comic books, that's kids stuff. It's not at all.
Another thing I don't care for as much, Dan, and I think if I were to go back and listen, I said this. Was it Arkham City or Asylum that had Scarecrow fucking with you, and you kind of went off into these own different worlds?
It was City.
If you go back and listen, I think I would say back then that I didn't care for those
Gotcha.
parts of the game.
Right.
And I still, for whatever reason, like the mind, Batman's mind being fucked with in Arkham Knight, just it doesn't do it for me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
See that I thought that part was awesome.
The going
psychosis of
in,
it.
I was not a fan of Scarecrow.
Okay.
So
Oh, I don't even mean Scarecrow. I mean the other part of messing with Batman's mind. We'll talk about it after. you beat
yeah, I
it.
don't know. I might not be far enough in
Okay.
to completely understand.
Gotcha.
But anyway,
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see at the end of the game how I feel, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It's not on my list.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay. Corey, next game on your list.
I should play this game because I won't have the Batman fatigue, you know.
I really don't think you'd like it very much.
I don't think you'd like it either.
I
You
just
never
don't.
know, because sometimes those games surprise me. Like I liked DMC. That's a game I shouldn't like.
I didn't think you'd like Dying Light though either, and you did. I pretty much if someone asked me would Corey like this game, I'm probably gonna say no.
Oh,
Well, Corey, it's the safer bet.
yeah, you're right.
I
you're
really
picky.
I really
for this
cannot
kind of
put a read on Corey at all. What games he's gonna like?
I think a lot of it's mood.
Moody.
Yeah, you know, if I'm just in the wrong mood for a game,
Yeah,
then I just start looking for stuff that I don't like.
it can ruin it.
That can make or break.
Yeah.
Sure.
We've talked about this. Like the timing of when you play a game can
Yeah.
make or break whether you like it or not.
And no matter how much you try to avoid other people's opinions influencing yours, you just can't. You know, it's hearing other things about a game.
I said that last week about Batman. I wish that I hadn't read
Yeah,
any of the hate for the Batmobile because I think it not completely, but I think it may have shaped my opinion a little more than it would have otherwise.
right. It's always possible. You never really know. You know, you could have still hated it, but you always wonder, like, did that influence my opinion? Who knows?
Yeah. I think I'm willing to admit it probably did.
Yeah. Okay. Corey.
I'll move on chronologically and throw Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate into the ring.
Uh-huh.
Great time with that game. Tried to play Monster Hunter 3 last year, but this is a game that on paper I should like a lot, and I happen to love Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. And I know it was kind of their goal to bring the Monster Hunter series to a Western audience, and I think they did that masterfully.
Yeah.
Because they didn't overwhelm you. They just kind of presented you with your options, and weapon-wise, you just pick one and you go with it. And as you get more experience with that weapon, you start to decide on your own that you want to experiment with other weapons, and then you really start to discover the depth of the game, including all the items and all that stuff. I haven't played it in months, but I'm pretty close to beating it, so I just have to get back into it and go through and beat it. And that's just the single-player part. I have messed around quite a bit with the multiplayer stuff, the arena stuff, the hunts, like all that stuff is done really well, and that's impressive for a 3DS game,
Yeah.
including the fact that it's on a Nintendo platform.
Right. Right. The multiplayer working alone is a big enough surprise.
Yep, and it's got all the charms of a Japanese game, and just the depth of full console game. There's just a lot going on, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Uh-huh.
I respect that pick.
I also put Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on my list.
Did you?
I did. For a lot of the same reasons as Corey. I also played Monster Hunter 3 and never really got into it, but I think what what turned the corner for me on Monster Hunter was I never liked the slow combat, but once I played Dark Souls, I finally understood the slower combat and how good it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I used one of the more unique weapons in Monster Hunter, which was the Warhorn weapon, which was awesome because I could buff my palicos. And if I was grouped up with people, like I did a little bit of the multiplayer core, not as much as you, but I spent a lot of my time buffing my allies and curing any of their ailments with my Warhorn, and then I jump in and
kind of like a
wail
bard.
away. Yeah, it is a little bit like a bard. Yeah,
Buffs,
yeah, buffs and debuffs.
I like that.
So it was fun. It was really
the bard
really
role
fun.
has always interested me.
Yep.
But I never played it.
Well, when we played Dungeons and Dragons, my guy was a bard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My gnome bard.
Yeah.
Which we should keep going with that. That was fun.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
You nerds.
I mean, not me. You guys can play.
Yeah.
Nerds. Dweebs. So yeah, Monster Hunter 4 also on my list.
Nice.
I was a hammer guy. I use the hammer a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like you pick up a new weapon and it's like a totally new game. Your role has completely changed, and how you approach monsters completely changes.
Yeah. I tried a couple of the other weapons, and after using the Warhorn for so long, I was like, I can't do this. I'm terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept using the Warhorn, which is awesome.
And they're still supporting that game. Still putting out new DLC packs for free.
Yeah, like a few a month, I think.
Yeah. Seems like it anyway.
The graphics were really good. The 3D was really good for it too. So
Yep.
it was a solid game.
All good things. Worth every penny.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely got my $40 worth. I'm gonna go Will next. Massive Chalice said fun turn-based game with added layers of gameplay. Examples being the lineages and character traits.
I too had Massive Chalice on my list. Just managing the bloodlines, that became... you play these games and they have their mechanics, but then there's sort of that meta game within the game that you sort of like do just for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And to me, like that game really did that well with the bloodlines, because I started with the arcane bloodline and I didn't want them to die out, and there were a couple times where that bloodline came real close to dying out, and I had like one 78-year-old woman who was real close to dying, so I had to adopt a little baby and like wait for that counter to finish, so I could adopt the baby and then like continue the bloodline. And I don't know, it does that stuff really well, and it is deceptively deep. At first glance, you kind of think it's really thin, but as you play the game and unlock more things, you realize just how much is really going on. And the combat's done really well. It's XCOM and all the other turn-based strategy games out there. Fantastic. I really loved it.
Nice. Okay. Massive Chalice. Eric, how many more games do you have on your list? One. I think we're down to one for everybody, right? Or did we cover all? Okay. Go ahead, Eric.
Rocket League.
Okay. Will also has Rocket League. So
Rocket League is a fucking amazing game, and it was free on PSN.
That's awesome.
Which blows my mind.
Yeah.
Will and I were playing before I came over here, which is why I was late. And he was even saying, he's like, I can't believe we got this game for free.
That is awesome.
It's so much fun. Do you just want to talk about it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so yesterday, I was playing something, and Tito in LA sent me a message and wanted to group up and play some Rocket League. So I did, and next thing I knew, like 3 hours had gone by, and me and Tito and Billy. Billy's been on before, right?
Yeah.
Skyward Sword, I believe.
Yeah, we've had him on a couple.
Billy, and then one of Tito's friends, Chris. We were playing in a group, and it is such a fun fucking game. Like, you can really pay as little attention or as much attention as you want and still have a blast either way. But I find it's best. The most fun I've had is playing with them and like talking to each other and kind of planning out a strategy like you would in It's kind of a mix between hockey and soccer. Hockey being like when you get the ball into the corners and like you're trying to dig it out against each other.
You know what it made me think of is Mario Strikers a little bit.
I don't remember.
I got a Super Mario Strikers feel from it.
Okay.
Because physical and hitting people into walls and you can blow people up if you crash into them hard enough. Because I played for like an hour last night, I should say.
Okay.
Will said been playing a few matches here and there. One of the most fun multiplayer games. So
I think it's one of the probably for me, maybe Heroes of the Storm, but I would say Rocket League is probably the best competitive online multiplayer game to come out in the last few years that I've played. It is just fantastic.
Yeah.
The only knock against it right now has been the server issues.
Yeah.
But I think it's been more popular than they expected.
Yeah.
Which is great.
No doubt.
But I have had no issues the last 2 days on the server, so I'm hoping they got everything figured out.
Right.
They're already planning to roll out some DLC for it. Some paid, some free. So we'll see how that goes. I'm willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
I really am. All the little touches in that game. It's like Heroes of the Storm, like I was saying earlier. Like I'm willing to pay a few bucks for like a different paint for my car or like a different exhaust coming out the back of my car when I'm using turbo, or a different flag, a different hat, whatever the case is. Like I'm willing to pay for that because that game is so much fun.
Yeah.
And
you think about it too, like it's just cars playing soccer. Like you're like,
it
okay,
sounds stupid.
It does sound stupid. But you play it and it controls so well.
Yeah.
Which is another big part of it. Like I think if they had messed up the controls, it wouldn't be nearly as fun as it is. But you have so much control over your car, and it takes some getting used to. Like I wasn't even anywhere near the ball like the first couple games I played because I just couldn't position myself right. But you keep playing, you learn how to position yourself right. You learn where the bounces are going to go, and it starts to make sense. And you're like, oh, this is awesome.
And it's one of those games too where like once you get pretty good at it and you've played it enough, when you see somebody pull off like a ridiculous hit of the ball for a goal or whatever the case is, like a good save, like it's just so awesome to see that. And it's just, oh God, it just has those moments where you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yesterday when I was playing with Tito, he actually saved the clip. It's probably my favorite goal that I've scored yet because it's so hard to like actually control the ball because you're a race car.
Yeah, you just crash into it.
Right. But I was going towards the opposing team's goal, and they had a guy who was pretty much just playing goalie, which you kind of need to do if you're playing more competitively online.
Right.
And he starts coming at me, so I saw that he came out of the net a little bit. And I just put a little touch on the ball to shift it right. Like it felt like I was a soccer player and just kind of gave the ball a little flick right because I knew he wasn't going to be able to stop in time. And he just went flying by me and I just finished it off for a goal.
Nice.
It was like, it just felt literally like it was a soccer play.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and being able to control the ball that way with a fucking race car for whatever reason, as dumb as it sounds, is just so satisfying.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, setting up plays, like crossing the ball in and having somebody there and just flying in midair and hitting the ball in is just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's such a fun game.
Yeah, it is very fun.
I could, like, man, if I could find a tournament to get into for money, I could get balls deep in that game.
Yeah.
Balls deep.
I wonder if they're going to have a esports.
They already do.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Already started.
Good.
Yep.
Good. I like to hear about that sort of stuff.
It's super. Tito says I was Lionel Messi in a vehicle.
Lionel Messi driving a truck.
Tito and his buddy Chris were really good too. We had a nice team going. Really good time. But yeah, if any listeners ever want to play, if I'm on, please send me an invite because I am always down.
Yeah, I read last night someplace that PS4, you're going to be, people who play on Steam and PS4 are going to be able to group up with each other now. So I'll be able to group up with Eric and Will to play, which is nice.
Yeah.
Cross-platform multiplayer needs to happen in more games.
Will and I played today also. Just talk about that briefly. He hadn't played as much as I had. We did some 3-on-3 with another person and some doubles, which I had never done before. We didn't fare too well. But
it's probably a different strategy.
That's
right?
what's great about the game too, because if you're playing 4-on-4, like you can afford to have somebody just playing goal,
yeah,
and you can still score.
Yeah,
but like if you're playing 3-on-3, maybe not as much, but 2-on-2, like you can't just have somebody back on defense. You're not
'cause
going to score a goal.
One person's not going to be able to do it themselves.
Yeah, like
usually,
unless you have somebody on your team that is super fucking good, like you're not going to score.
right?
But yeah, if you're interested in this game at all and you haven't seen it, look up some YouTube highlights or Twitch streams. I know a lot of people are streaming it right now.
Yep.
And just check it out. It's super fun.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
So I'm watching video of it right now on our live stream, twitch.tv/thumbstickathletes. I always try and squeeze one of those in.
Sure.
Hey,
How does the camera just stay on the ball the whole time?
No, you can have it behind you like a normal racing thing, or you can switch it to be on the ball.
If it's
which
on
is
the
very
ball,
useful.
it's a pain in the balls, though.
Yeah, I do that. Like if I lose the ball, I'll switch it over to, like if it goes way up. And
See, I don't
know,
do that.
I don't know where it's going. I switch to the ball view and I get myself turned
You can
around or
use the
whatever.
right thumbstick to move the camera. So, like, if I have the camera behind me in third person, I just move the right thumbstick to where I know where I think the ball is.
Okay.
And I don't know. I prefer to do that instead of switching to the ball cam.
Mm-hmm.
And my other question is it level playing? No, that's a bad pun. But is it
Good matchmaking?
No, I mean, like, do the cars have different attributes? Is there any kind of like?
It's just cosmetic, right?
Some of them are bulkier, which I don't know if that means they're harder to demolition, which
Right.
means explode. But you know, I mean, they take up more space in one way or another. But like if I'm a sportier car that's like more flat, I might have a wider base to like when I flip my car up. I have a wider base to hit it with than I would with like a van that's narrower but a little longer. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
So
but
is it all based on like geometry? Like
it's
shape?
Physics. Yeah.
physics based. Yeah.
So if there's a smaller car, does that mean it's faster?
No,
No.
not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. I never noticed anything like that.
It's all just personal preference.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which I like.
Yeah.
I so badly want to be able to customize my flag
Oh.
and
yeah.
put a Thumbstick Athletes logo on it.
Yeah. I've just put the American flag on mine for now. But I would love a Thumbstick Athletes flag.
Oh.
That'd be sweet.
I just unlocked a star. That's what I have on my antenna right now.
Okay.
And then I have Halo
Okay.
over top of my car.
Nice. I got to level like 4, I think, last night. I played maybe 6 or 8 like exhibition matches while I got a hang of the controls. I didn't want to jump into online multiplayer, not having any concept of what the game was like.
Yeah.
So
Is there a story mode or like campaign or?
there's a season, yeah.
Which actually can be pretty long. You can change the length of the season like you would in like an NBA game. And it's like, what is there, like 8-10 teams? Can you
Yeah, I don't
change
know.
that too, maybe?
I didn't fire it up.
I played through one season. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can pick through, I don't know, 10 or so cars to be on your team. Teams of 3. You can pick out of 10 to build your team with, and each of them has a name. And then you can pick a logo for your team that also has your name attached to it. So there's like the Rebels and, you know, names like that. And there's different stadiums too, which
Yeah.
is cool.
Yep.
It's actually kind of neat. I kind of like to play like a defensive midfield, you would call it in soccer. Stay back and pick your spots to come forward. That's what I like to do best. There's 1 or 2 domes that you play in that are nighttime,
Yeah.
and if you stay too far back, you actually can't see the ball very well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which kind of adds a little bit to it because you have to be in good position.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fucking good.
It is good. I think we're going to do an episode on it next week, so we'll cover it a little more in depth, talk tactics and
We should stream.
whatnot. We should. You're right. You're right.
I'll try my damnedest.
Okay.
If I'm playing, I'll just stream it.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, I'll go, and then Corey can give us his last game. My last game on my list is Splatoon. I'm highly addicted to Splatoon right now. The multiplayer even, which is crazy. I know.
No, it's different.
I think it's kind of an everyman shooter. Me being an older gentleman, I don't have the precision aiming like a lot of people do. Actually, I wanted to tell you this, Eric. There's a poll on Destructoid, which aiming method do you prefer? Do you prefer the classic thumbstick aiming or motion aiming? And over 50% preferred motion aiming.
Really?
I guess I know. I guess people get really precise with, aiming like with that. I don't know how, but I did try it out because after I read that, I was like, I got to see what the fuss is about. And I do see like with practice how you could be more precise with that because some people like the shots that they take in that game are crazy. And I don't know how they do it, but for me, like I'm not as precise with my aiming and stuff, so I've just been using a roller, which works great.
Usually,
yeah,
depends.
Yeah, it's not great for the tower defense.
Yeah,
ranked matches does not work well for that. So if it's tower defense, I'll try and use another weapon, which I'm not very good with, and I usually just end up quitting.
I'm only good with the roller.
Yeah. So I'm level 17. Rank C plus for my rank. So God,
we gotta play.
Yeah, definitely. I freaking love that game.
I had that on my list.
I played for a couple hours. I think I'm up to like 30 hours played on Splatoon already.
Yeah, nice. That's what I took off for Heroes of the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Splatoon in the order would really be a toss up.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm loving the hell out of it. I can't wait to go upstairs and play some more.
That's how I was when I first got it. I was like playing it constantly.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But now Rocket League.
Yeah. I mean, especially if we're doing an episode on Rocket League, I'll have to get balls deep. Deep.
Oh yeah.
Last game, Corey.
My last game. Speaking of games, we need to do an episode on because there's a lot going on in this game. Is Invisible Inc. The stealth. I don't even know. You throw in like 10 different genres into that game.
Yeah. Stealth, point and click, tactical RPG.
Yeah, something like that. Pretty much. It's one of those things. It's hard to summarize in
classify
a paragraph. But I just had a lot of fun with doing the augmentations and sort of tweaking out your guys to be the most effective. I think I talked about it in the episode where I beat it, but I had one character that basically never ran out of action points because I gave him a stim pack that every time you used, you got an additional 4 action points. And when he knocked somebody out, he got like an additional 6 action points. So he basically could move across the whole area of what you were in as long as there were things along the way that he could boost himself off of. And it's just those kind of combinations are endless. And I didn't even get that deep into it. I just played through one campaign.
Yeah.
But there's way more going on, and I didn't even scratch the surface, and I had a great time with it. So
I guess higher difficulty levels are supposed to be pretty hard.
Yeah, and you unlock more and more characters, and like there's more and more augmentations and items and weapons. I didn't even do anything with weapons other than the. I had one character that had a gun to kill, but all my other characters just had that basic knockout weapon. I forget what it's called.
Yeah. The stun gun or whatever.
Right. But even like all the weapons that you use play into the strategy, and it's there's so much going on, and I forget how much you pay for it, Dan.
It was well, I mean, I think it's 15 normally.
Yeah.
I got it on a sale when it first came out, and it was like 11.39 or something like that.
Yeah, well worth it.
Yeah, it was a steal.
Yeah, absolute steal. I highly recommend that game.
Uh-huh. That's it.
Coming to PS4, by the way, I just read.
Yeah, it's good. It'll probably end up on everything. Because Don't Starve is even on Android,
probably,
or Android and no, it's on iOS, I think, which is good. I like that they can put those games on everything. That's awesome,
Yeah. Do you guys have any honorable mentions?
Splatoon would be mine.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about honorable mentions.
I had Axiom Verge. That's one. It was either going to be that or HOTS, but I went with HOTS.
I probably put HOTS in my honorable mentions because for the month or whatever that I played, I absolutely loved it. And then just once I stopped, I played that one match when we had Guys Weekend. I was like, nope, I'm done with this.
Yeah,
not because I didn't like it, but I was so out of practice because I hadn't played in like 2 months. So
sure. I would probably maybe include Dying Light. I didn't like it as much as you guys did,
Yeah,
but it's a good game.
that will probably get my biggest surprise at the end of the year. But it could be Splatoon. Splatoon too.
There's still half a year to go.
I know.
Well,
Half a year and a lot of games.
5.5 months anyway.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna take a quick break and be back with Nibblebits and our weeks right after this. Really gotta pee.
Oh, it's only 10 o'clock.
What?
It's all right. I napped for 2 hours today. I was so exhausted. As soon as I got home from work, I sat on the couch and I'm like, I can't move.
Being in the sun too. Takes it
Yeah,
out of-
we just fucked off all day today.
Oh, well, that's awesome. After all that.
You and the old guys.
Yeah, we cut a couple trees down and sat and thought about it for a while.
Sounds like a good day at work.
Cutting down trees is fun.
Yeah, it is. Well, not when you have a shitty electric chainsaw.
Oh. Yeah.
They got to upgrade.
I know. Well, if it were up to Jack, the guy I work with, we'd do everything by hand with little hand saws. And I'm like, I'm not. We have power tools. Like, we don't need to. We don't need to exert ourselves.
Fucking beat.
Yeah. It's been a crazy weekend. I almost killed the dog that we're house sitting.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I didn't almost kill it, but I got up for work Tuesday morning and it was like limping. Real bad.
Huh.
And the night before, Monday night, I went to bed at like 6. So Sophie was with the dog all night, and I asked her, and she's like, "Yeah, I noticed he was limping. I didn't think anything of it, but he like couldn't move." So she took him to the vet. He had a sprained toe, a fever, and diarrhea. So he was a mess. They gave him like a cortisone shot or something like that, and he hasn't been eating, hasn't been drinking. He can't walk.
Probably misses his folks.
Yeah, I think that's why he got sick, but I don't know how he got the sprained toe. He's getting better. He hasn't pooped since Monday night.
He's a little backed up.
Yeah. But he hasn't really eaten too much. The vet doesn't seem worried about it. She's like, well, as long as he's not having diarrhea. I'm like, yeah,
Get him a can of Hormel chili and see if that does the trick.
Well, one of the problems is that he's like allergic to everything. So he has like the nastiest just like puff balls. Like that's all he eats.
Dog sounds like a royal pain in the dick.
Yeah, because I took him to the vet the next day because he had to get a shot again, and she's like, "Oh yeah, he's a frequent flyer here." I'm just like, I'm not surprised. Poor little guy though. I felt so bad for him. He couldn't do anything.
Did you have to carry him around?
Yep, had to carry him out in the yard so he could piss.
How big is it?
It's not that big. It's like Gimli size. A little bit taller, but not as muscular.
What kind of dog is it?
I don't know. White. White with brown spots.
Your typical dog.
It's some kind of herding dog. I don't know.
What kind of dog is it? Dog.
White with brown.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Can't wait for our Thummies Awards dinner.
That's
Gonna be fun. We had to pick a venue. Maybe we can get it comped because we're kind of celebrities.
According to whom exactly?
We're local celebrities.
Remember when I told Jared we were mildly famous on the internet? He goes, yeah, very mildly.
Oh, Jared, how dare you?
Prick.
Uh,
You heard from him?
Nope. Nope. Oh my gosh.
Ready?
Yeah, Jared. Yeah.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 208 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. We are now in our Nibblebits segment. Corey, get us started with Nibblebits.
Angry Birds 2, guys, releasing July 30th.
I can't fucking wait.
Is it going to be 3D?
I don't know.
Do you think it'd be 3D? Don't you think that'd be cool if it was 3D, though?
Do you care?
No.
no,
Not even a little.
That's
I liked Angry Birds when it first came out, but it's been done.
Yeah, that's why I sarcastically tweeted, finally we're getting another Angry Birds game.
Yeah.
I think it was a Kotaku article I cited, but they mentioned that there has already been 15 Angry Birds games. 15.
But this is Angry Birds 2.
Totaling 3 billion, not million, 3 billion downloads.
Wow.
Oh my god. Sorry to say I was part of that.
I accounted for a few of those too.
That's like almost half the world's population downloading an Angry Birds game.
Yeah.
Rolling in it. Filthy stinking rich.
So to count to 1 million, it would take you 13 days. To count to 1 billion, it would take you 31 years.
Wow.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Little mind benders you get here in Thumbstick Athletes.
3 billion, guys. Billion. I ate some Angry Birds candy over the weekend.
How's that?
I don't know. It was old.
There's Angry Birds everything.
Yep.
But the only thing I think is cool is the plushie toys, because you throw them at
I was
somebody.
just going to tell you,
It's
my
perfect.
boss has one sitting in his office.
Yeah, that's awesome. You just wing it at someone or throw it at something that'll break. It's like, hey, I'm just playing. I'm playing real live Angry Birds. You know.
Yeah.
Except the one doesn't have a bomb in it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Speaking of bomb, this War of Mine is now out for iOS and Android tablets. I think it was Tuesday it came out. Something like that. Highly recommended. I think it would play just fine on a tablet. There's not...
I've heard it does.
Yeah.
It does play just like it would on a computer.
Do you know how much it is?
10.
No, 10?
Yep, I looked it up. I put it on my wish list.
Yeah, that's a great game.
It sure is. I believe it made my list of games of the year last year.
Yeah, I think it did.
I love that game. Maybe we should save this to talk about. I'll do it at the end, and if we want to talk about it later, we can. Kojima Productions has disbanded. This is, of course, the studio of Hideo Kojima from the Metal Gear series. What's interesting to me about the whole thing is that Konami stripped the box art of all of the Kojima branding for Metal Gear Solid 5, which to me kind of makes it sound kind of personal.
Oh yeah.
I guess one of the phrases on the game on the game box art was a Hideo Kojima game, and to take that off from the box art, I don't know. That sounds kind of personal to me.
You think they would have had to pay him off to do that?
No, because they own the studio.
Oh,
He's just the name.
he's just the mind behind it.
Yeah.
I really wonder what happened there exactly.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Yeah, I don't often care about things, so this one's interesting.
Let's just say I'm more intrigued than anything.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know what would cause this fallout, this epic fallout.
Well, he's a fucking weird guy anyway.
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's kind of a strange dude.
It's kind of like Sid Meier creating Civilization 6, and then a couple months before it comes out, they strip it of the Sid Meier's Civilization 6 and just call it Civilization 6.
Yeah.
A Firaxis
Tom
game.
Clancy's The Division.
Just
Now
division.
it's The Division.
Yeah, that's somebody's trying to make a statement, I guess.
That's the sort of thing companies do when a person has a Cosby moment.
Yeah, that's
Not that we're saying Kojima was slipping any Quaaludes in anybody's drinks, but
Yeah.
you never know.
he's maybe.
It's I don't want to disparage or slander the guy because we have no idea what's going on. But
Because in all honesty, I'd probably take his side.
there's been rumors that he has been planning to leave after the Phantom Pain anyway. But I don't know. Just to strip the box art to me is a little bit backhanded.
I've got a bad taste in my mouth about that game, and I don't know if I want to buy it.
What's the bad taste
I'm
from?
still excited for it. I don't know.
That whole thing. I don't know. I don't like that jankiness that's going on over there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding?
I'll probably end up buying it, even though I didn't really care much for Ground Zeroes.
I'll probably buy it, Dan. You can play my
Oh,
Steam
that's
copy.
right.
I like Ground Zero.
I'll just do that.
I feel like I owe you for all the games I've played on your Steam account.
All the
That's true.
300 that Dan's got in his library.
296.
Yeah.
I'm at 296.
Getting there. Let's get the next Humble Bundle. You'll flesh that out to 300, no problem.
Oh, the Humble Bundle now is
Game making.
no. Well, there's that one, but there's also the Kickstarter bundle. There's a few games on there.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, a few popular ones on there.
A new
Not-
sorry.
Go ahead. I was
New
gonna say-
new expansion is coming. Do you want to say what you're going to say before?
No, just go ahead. It's not important.
A new expansion is coming to Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate. This is the enhanced edition that was released. The first one was released last year. I don't know. It's an old game that was remastered and re-released last year or the year before.
This is now and it's everywhere.
Yeah, so this expansion is set between... Oh, I forgot to write down the name of the... It's the Siege of Dragonspear. It's set between Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 and sounds like a fully fledged expansion with new areas, monsters, items, the whole shebang. But what I thought was cool is that you can export your save from this expansion to Baldur's Gate 2. So there's a little bit of permanence between the two games. And also cross-platform multiplayer, which is always a big bonus.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been meaning... You have this, Dan, speaking of games you have on Steam, don't you have the enhanced edition, or is it Will?
I think it's Will.
Or maybe,
I have them. I think I have them on my wish list.
Or maybe I have it?
I have them saved. They're on my Play Store wish list too.
Oh, I have Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition.
There you go.
I don't have the first one. So that's cool. League of Legends' new reporting system has reduced verbal abuse to only 2% of matches.
Bullshit.
2%.
It depend. I guess it would depend on what you define as verbal abuse.
Yeah.
It would probably have to be really bad.
It went from 100% to 2.
Apparently it is, anecdotally, of course. Well, I guess they do have some stats to back it up. But apparently it's pretty effective. It's called the Tribunal. And essentially what it does is it creates a forum for players to, quote, report, view, and discuss harassment in the game. And I saw some screenshots of this, and it looked fascinating. I'd hate to see I'd be happy to see my Heroes of the Storm reporting profile, because I think it'd look pretty good. Maybe not. I don't know. I was kind of an asshole on our guys' night just because I was drinking.
Well, yeah.
So Jeffrey Lynn, who is the designer of social systems for Riot Games, said this: incidences of homophobia, sexism, and racism in League of Legends have fallen to a combined 2% of all games. I want to know what that's down from. I couldn't find that number.
100.
Well, and that the thing like that doesn't include calling someone like a fuckstick. You know, that's just
Dan.
specific-
Let me finish.
Okay.
Verbal abuse has dropped by more than 40%, and 91.6% of negative players change their act and never commit another offense after just one reported penalty.
That's good.
Well, now we know how to fix all the world's problems with the tribunal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Democratize.
I guess if it's working, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that's true, then I hope Heroes of the Storm puts something like that into play before I pull my hair out. What I have left of my hair out.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be interested to talk to somebody who has used this system. And
I know plenty of players of League of Legends, and maybe we could have one on to talk about it.
because I find it fascinating. And I wonder, like, is it like people who are reported, like the video of the offense is you can watch, and then like anybody in the community can like watch it and decide on a punishment? I don't really know how the whole thing works, but it is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most deaf.
Speaking of esports, I don't know, this might be more for Roundtable, but there was a pro Counter-Strike player who admits everyone does Adderall. Mm-hmm. His name's Corey, quote, Semphis Friesen, and this was in an interview with Motherboard. There was a certain match in question in Poland where him and his team were communicating I don't know. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but from what I understand, the communication was a bit much. And he admitted, yeah, everyone does Adderall. And that's kind of interesting to me because it's sort of like performance enhancing drugs in professional sports, you know?
Yep. Roids.
Adderall in esports. And I'm actually like, it makes sense. I'm not surprised. And thinking back on like the esports matches I have watched, there is like those guys look a little distant.
A little spacey.
And I could totally see the Yep, go ahead.
The guy, they never show any emotion when they win. Maybe like one guy on the team here or there, but I'm always like, man, I'd be so pumped. And they're just like sitting there. Yeah. Now we know why.
Yep.
They're blazed.
Yeah, they're extremely focused.
I wonder if this is going to lead to drug testing on the esports scene.
Well, the article I cited, ESL's rules on drugs. To play a match, be it online or offline, under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or other performance enhancers is strictly prohibited and may be punished with exclusion from the ESL 1.
Wait, alcohol is a performance enhancer?
I don't know.
Maybe it's that special kind of drunk where you're better at video games.
When you get in the zone?
Yeah.
My question is, like, where do you draw the line, though? Because, I mean, if you have ADD, can you say, well, I need my Adderall to fix my ADD? But then there's like, well, caffeine helps you focus, too. Is that not allowed?
Yeah, I don't
know. It's interesting, anyway. Everyone's on Adderall.
We should start a drug testing company
for esports.
Yeah.
Not a terrible idea. That is not a terrible idea.
I'm going to delete this part of the episode off.
That's a great idea.
It actually is a really good idea.
I want to do some science experiments and like play a bunch of games of Hearthstone without Adderall, and then take a bunch of Adderall, and then play a bunch of Hearthstone matches, and just see what
Corey,
happens.
I'll just sit next to you with a notebook.
Hearthstone?
Yeah.
Hearthstone? Would that help you in Hearthstone?
Oh, yeah.
Would it?
Adderall helps you with everything.
Corey, you speak from experience?
No, well, a friend of mine. No, I have a lot of, I'm not afraid to admit, a lot of friends who enjoy taking Adderall for like a night of partying and stuff, and it sort of.
Is it for stamina?
What?
So like for stamina boost or
it's
what?
for everything. It's like, you ever seen the movie Limitless?
No.
With what's his name? Hot sexy guy. Bradley Cooper.
No.
Oh.
Where he takes like the brain pill. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we should do a test, Corey. You do Hearthstone, and then I'll do HOTS.
Uh-huh.
And we'll get a box full of Adderall.
Uh-huh.
We'll see what happens.
See what happens.
Well, even when I play Hearthstone after drinking a bunch of beer or something, I just think about things in a different way.
Okay.
It kind of unlocks
That makes sense.
Unlocks certain things that your neurons aren't normally accustomed to thinking about things.
I play Heroes of the Storm like absolute shit. But that's always been the case with me. Like when I was in a bar dart league, I never drank when I played because I played like shit. So I was always the DD for the rest of my team.
Yeah.
Who played hammered drunk.
Uh-huh.
So
gotcha.
Well,
that's interesting. Anything else, Corey?
No, that's it.
Okay. I'll go next. I don't think we reported on this, but Lizard Squad member Julius Kivimaki was recently arrested in connection with DDoS attacks on PSN and Xbox Live last Christmas. Daybreak Games CEO John Smedley, who had a bomb threat called in on one of his planes by the group, responded to the fairly light sentencing by Finnish government by writing, "I'm coming for you, Julius," and threatening to sue both Kivimaki and his parents. Lizard Squad's response to Smedley's threat was to DDoS some of Daybreak Games servers, causing games like PlantSide 2 to be unplayable. In a Reddit post the other day, Smedley further voiced his thoughts on Kivimaki and Lizard Squad by saying, quote, "I'm extremely angry that the Finnish justice system chose to let Julius Kivimaki off with 2-year suspended sentence. This guy is the worst kind of bad news. He's been involved for years in every kind of terrible thing you can imagine, including carding, hacking, swatting people all over the world. He's also participated in a major way in DDoS attacks that have caused a lot of grief for gamers and a lot of economic damage to the companies that make and run games. End quote. So, good on you, Smedley.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for being pissed off. I'm kind of pissed off that he not even going to jail. He's just limited computer use for like
Slap on the wrist for 2 years.
Can you clear up for me exactly what swatting is?
Swatting is when you call a SWAT team on someone and have them raid someone's house. Like a lot of,
how do you like?
I don't know. You would have to they would have to like say it was a terrorist something or other, or there's a bomb there or something.
And they just take your word for it.
And I don't know how exactly
They
it
have
works.
to.
Yeah. But yeah, the SWAT team will bust into the apartment and like
You fucking imagine?
probably flashbang. I don't know what they do, but
God.
yeah.
Well, the one dude, I forget who it was, but somebody swatted him, and like the cop showed up, and he was just like minding his own business.
Yeah.
It freaked out and everything. But while the cops were there, they found like pot in his house, so he got in trouble for that.
Oh my God,
that's
that
awful.
fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
That's all.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah, people are shit.
Dude, squad, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, they should have made an example out of him. You know, throw him in prison for 20 years. Whatever.
Teemu Solani's from Finland, isn't he?
Yeah.
Little side hockey note for you there.
I think it was kind of stupid though for him to say, "I'm coming for you."
Well, yeah, he had to expect something was gonna.
That wasn't too
That Blizzard
bright.
Squad was gonna retaliate.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I take Smedley's side on that. I don't like that that they brought the PSN and Xbox Live down over Christmas when people are home playing games with their family. Like, how much of a prick do you have to be to do that?
Yeah. There's a special place in hell reserved
Yeah.
for
Oh man, is there ever?
Yeah, that's not
people that get their kicks out of this.
Oh, exactly. That's what makes it even worse.
Get their
Is
rocks
they
off.
they do it for the lulls,
Yeah.
as they call it.
It's not even funny though.
No,
like,
it's not. They're being douchebags.
And
They're kids. They're kids that are douchebags that want to make other people suffer.
yeah. And I feel like there is a time and place for that kind of thing, but from what we've
No,
seen,
not.
they haven't.
Christmas certainly is not that time or place.
Right.
I mean, I don't really feel like there's a time or place to be swatting anybody, as it turns out.
That's just horrible.
Unless you're swatting the lizard squad, then there's definitely always a time and place for that.
There's actually someone. It was like a 15-year-old that swatted someone in the United States, and he went to prison for like 10 years or something like that.
Judge
Good.
threw the book
Like,
at him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what needs to happen.
And I think that's-
the only way people are going to stop doing that.
I think that's what part of the ruling was it's somebody who understood
Yeah,
the
that they were.
gravity of the situation and said, like, if we don't start cracking down on these types of situations, then it's going to get out of hand. And
Yeah.
like Eric, I see you asking in our chat room, have they shot anyone? That's what's got to happen. Somebody has to get killed.
Which would be just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just sitting there in your underwear, like playing Halo, and all
having
of a
the SWAT
sudden
team
the
show up?
SWAT team shows up and they just put a bullet in your back?
That's awful. It's depressing. So good on you, Smedley.
Yes.
We've had our disagreements in the past, but I'll take your side on this
Wait,
one.
what have we disagreed with him about?
He's Star Wars Galaxies.
Oh, say no more, Dan.
I'm still angry about that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. He scored some points in my book. Moving on, Jade Raymond has opened a new studio with EA called Motive, and it was announced that her new studio will be assisting Visceral with their new Star Wars game, as well as building a completely new IP. Jade Raymond, if you don't know, was with Ubisoft for about 10 years and was instrumental in the production of the early Assassin's Creed games, Watch Dogs, and Splinter Cell Blacklist. So there's that. Dead Island 2 is going through some turmoil. After being delayed into 2016, Deep Silver has announced this week that Jaeger is no longer developing Dead Island 2. They put, I don't know, someplace on social media or in a blog or something. With Dead Island 2, Deep Silver has always been dedicated to delivering the sequel that Dead Island fans deserve. After careful consideration, today we announced the decision to part ways with developmental partner Jaeger. We will continue working towards bringing our vision of Dead Island 2 to life, and we will share further information at a later stage. There's no word on who's going to be developing it yet, but it's not going to be Jaeger.
Not a good sign.
No. I mean, I guess it's good that if they didn't think the game was up to snuff, that they're, giving it to a different developer who maybe will make it work.
Yeah, I've kind of lost hope in the whole thing. I didn't like the first game enough to really give a shit about this, but
all we really saw was a teaser for the second one, so it's not like
right.
There wasn't anything there to build that much excitement for.
No.
Still something to whet the appetite.
Yeah. For those that remember the Commodore 64, Commodore is back and will be making a smartphone called the Commodore PET. This is from Wired magazine. They said, the new Commodore PET is an Android phone of rather common design. It is well built with an aluminum frame and an interchangeable polycarbonate covers. The shell displays a big C logo, and a smaller one could replace the home button below the 5.5-inch IPS 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution display made of Gorilla Glass 3. The phone will feature a 1.7 gigahertz MediaTek 64-bit octa-core processor with ARM and Mali, blah, blah, blah. The main camera uses 13-megapixel Sony sensor with a bright f/20 aperture, f/2.0 aperture. It can take images up to 4096 by 2304 pixels and videos up to 1080p HD. Front camera or selfie cam, as the kids are calling it these days, is an 8-megapixel rig with 80-degree wide-angle lens. Both can be operated with the dedicated shutter button on the right side of the case. The PET has dual SIM 4G connectivity. Most interesting feature, however, of the Commodore phone is that it comes with 2 pre-installed emulators, allowing the user to play Commodore 64 and Amiga games on it. It will also have multiple colors and internal storage to choose from, including the classic PC beige color. Remember that?
No.
On the old computers, the beige,
off-white.
Yeah,
it's kind of cigarette stain.
Yes, it's kind of ugly color, but it brings back the feeling of your old PC. The PET will be available in Europe and the Americas in a few months. So, I thought that was kind of neat. That's all I got for Nibble Bits. What do you got, Eric?
I just got 2, Dan.
All right.
Fallout Shelter, speaking of big sales that we were talking about earlier, has earned $5.1 million in its first 2 weeks of availability. That's crazy money.
Mm-hmm.
I know they had a sale recently on some of their extra stuff, like lunch pails and whatnot.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called? Lunch pails, lunch boxes?
I think so.
Have you guys been playing it at all since it first came out?
No, I'm waiting for it to come out on Android. I can't get the iPads from the kids long enough to. As soon as I start using it, they're like, I want to use it.
I've completely lost interest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just want to try it.
It's worth trying.
Yeah.
I would say that. But
I'm in the same boat. I'd probably play it for a couple days and then never look at it again. So
the only mobile game that kept my attention for an extended period was Tiny Tower.
Okay. I can see that.
That was a great game.
I don't think there was one for me. I played Angry Birds a little bit, like when it was new.
Yeah.
But that was probably it for mobile games for me.
And my last one. It's not really news, but I thought it was interesting. I read an article, this is from Destructoid, that Naughty Dog devs thought that The Last of Us was going to ruin the studio's name.
Really?
They actually, did not think it was going to be that well received.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Give the specifics?
Not really. There's not really too many specifics. Couple of quotes in here. We thought we were going to ruin the name and image of Naughty Dog that's been so hardly built for years with blood, sweat, and tears. We thought we were ruining Naughty Dog's image. They used to joke that The Last of Us was going to be the downfall of the studio.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be.
Yeah, I don't either. But I guess that worked out all right for him, huh?
Yeah, I would say so.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
If you thought a game was going to suck that bad, why would you even put it out?
That's what I was thinking. At what point did they change their mind?
I don't know. Whatever. That's it.
Cool. How's your week, Eric?
Had a good week. Arsenal started their preseason tour, so that means soccer's right around the corner. Mm-hmm. Time Warner Cable sent us an offer for $10 a month. Think we're gonna do it because of soccer
Gotcha.
coming back.
You'll have to get a cable box too,
Yeah.
and then pay rental
It's
fees.
all included, I guess. It says all the stuff is included.
Well, you should
Equipment.
double check, make sure.
So there will be a rental fee monthly,
yeah,
which is, do you know how much?
I think it's like $7 or $8.
Jesus.
Double check. It may not be,
Yeah.
but you never know. You won't know until you look on your bill.
It
'Cause
doesn't say rental fees included. It says equipment is included.
Okay. I think that just means you have to have the cable or the equipment. I don't know if you can get your own. I know, like with a cable modem, you can buy your own,
Right.
and it's like I think the one I want to get is like $70. So the rental fee for the modem is like $8 a month. So within 10 months, it's already paid for itself, and then you're just pocketing that extra $8 a
Yeah.
month. But I don't know if you can do that for like a cable box.
Well, we'll see.
I would call them. and
Yeah,
find
no, I'm
out.
definitely going to. I'm sick of having to screw around to watch the soccer games. I
Yeah.
just want to watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. I watched a movie that I really enjoyed called Detachment. It's got Adrian Brody in it. He plays a substitute teacher, and what he does is he moves around to like high risk areas with like, kind of violent kids or kids that are kind of troubled or whatever. And the reason he does that is he doesn't want to get attached to them. So he moves frequently. He'll take like short-term substitution jobs for like a month and then
Yeah.
go to a new school because he doesn't want to get attached to kids and like get involved in their lives. And it was a really interesting movie. Like he takes care of his grandfather and like he kind of takes this one girl under his wing, not a girl that he finds at the school, which it was a whole separate part of the story, which was really cool. But it's I find that all the best movies are depressing.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is part of the reason I don't really watch movies either.
This one was fairly depressing. But I would definitely recommend it. It's one of those movies that kind of makes you think about life and stuff like that.
Nice.
I actually am an Adrian Brody fan. That's the reason I watched this one. There's my fiance Googled like movies to watch on Netflix. It's the same list that we looked at for Short Term 12, I think it was called, that I recommended a little while ago. And this was another good one from that list. It's got 23 movies on it. So if you see some 23 movies to watch on Netflix, that's the list we're watching through right now. We were going to watch another one. I can't remember what it was called, but it was all Korean. And neither of us really wanted to.
Read subtitles.
Yeah, so we didn't.
Yeah. You got to be in the right mood for that.
Sounded fucked up, though.
Oh.
Yeah. I might watch it when she's not around. It's about a guy who gets, I don't know if he gets kidnapped or what, but he's held hostage for like 12 or 15 years.
Yeah.
And then they like release him. And just some fucked up shit happens.
What are you talking about, Eric?
I don't remember what the movie was called.
Old Boy?
Yes.
Oh, that's on my queue.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
Is it fucked up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good movie, though.
After like 10 minutes of watching subtitles too, like I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Yeah, but I would recommend Detachment. It was really good.
Okay.
I don't think. I have a job interview tomorrow, so
Good luck to you.
Thank
on
you.
that, sir.
yeah, 11 o'clock. We'll see. Hopefully everything goes well, and I'll be heading down to Virginia.
About a year from now?
Could be sooner.
Less than a year.
Depends, because there's
Ideally, you want like a little less than a year, right? Like shortly after your fiance graduates.
May or later
Right.
would be great.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, we'll see. There's different possibilities with it, so we'll see what happens. But I'm not too nervous. I don't really get nervous about stuff like that. So
Yeah.
pretty good at talking on my feet with things of that nature. So I will report back on how that goes next week, one way or another.
Nice.
Yeah.
It could be one of those things too where you think you bombed the interview and they actually really liked it.
Yeah, who knows? It's also one of those things where like I know I'm not going to do bad enough where they're not going to offer me something
Right.
to go for, but I would really like them to offer me what I applied for.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Nice. Gotcha. Is that everything?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. I will go next. I actually did quite a bit. I've got quite a bit to talk about this week. First and foremost, me and my wife actually had a date night for the first it was for date night, like actual, like, kind of going on a date. Since
Were you like open doors for her and stuff?
No, I don't. Not really. Not like that exactly.
No.
But I mean, we haven't.
No chivalry.
We've only like left the house together 3 times since my daughter's been born, and this was the first one where actually a date, like I said. So my wife actually entered me for Father's Day on a contest for a restaurant called Food and Fire around here. Are you familiar with Food and Fire?
I know where it is.
Okay. And we won a free appetizer, so that's where we went for dinner.
I didn't even know you were in this.
Yeah.
So I didn't even get to cast my vote.
I didn't know either until like the voting was already like going on. But I did win a free appetizer, which was cool. That restaurant is amazing.
Oh, really?
I highly recommend it. It's like a barbecue joint.
I think Billy, who I mentioned earlier, I think one of his family members is part owner.
Okay, yeah. There's a few it's a locally owned place.
Yeah.
It's and the Food and Fire thing is from a Benjamin Franklin quote, which is cool.
Cool.
But they do really good barbecue. I got first of all, we got nachos as the appetizer, which had pulled pork on it. It was cheese and pulled pork and green chilies and tomatoes and beans. It was fantastic.
Nice.
Pulled pork there is excellent.
Is that where we should go for our...
Maybe. It's not really fancy.
Okay.
It's a barbecue joint. It's a little bit of an upscale barbecue joint, though. They've got 40 craft beers on tap.
Oh, wow.
But I got a brisket melt sandwich, which was phenomenal.
Nice.
So good. So good.
They have 40 craft beers on tap?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yep. I got some kind of milk stout that was really good.
Ooh, that's a meal in itself.
It didn't sit well with the nachos with the green chilies on it, but it was really good. And like I said, the brisket melt was fantastic.
I voted for you, Dan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then after that, we took a painting class. Kinda. Then we have this local place in Binghamton called Uncork Creations, where you go and you do a painting. So we did that. I will not quit my day job as a stay-at-home dad.
I thought it looked fine.
It's okay. My wife said it because she has done a lot of them. We have her paintings in the house. She said it was the hardest one because you had to paint wood grain, which is kind of difficult. I didn't know any better. I mean, I'm just not I'm not an artistic person, but it was still fun. It was it was something different to do. Yeah. I don't think I've ever done that. Not since elementary school, finger paintings. So
yeah,
it was fun.
I seen those finger paints you bring home and they suck.
Yeah, exactly.
What is that from?
But it's like a Billy Madison.
Is it?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's like a almost like wood paneling or wood planking, and then it's got a white anchor on it. I'm actually gonna bring it down here. I wanted to show people in the stream, but it's upstairs. I'm not gonna worry.
We'll
about
tweet
it.
A picture of it.
Yeah.
Dan's handiwork.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun though. We got some snacks while we were there. They have a wine bar and they have beer and weird treats and stuff. It's kind of neat.
Nice.
Yeah. So I did that. That was a blast. I traded in my Shield tablet.
Whoa!
Yeah, I've got a newish one here.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
So it shows how much I pay attention.
I mean, the real reason why I had it was to stream games upstairs from down here because my computer was down here, but my computer's upstairs. I really wasn't using it. And on a whim, I went on Amazon to see how much it was worth. It was worth $250,
wow.
Which is almost what I paid for it. Well, I didn't trade it in right then. I waited a few days. I was like, I'll keep an eye on the price. Maybe it'll go up. And, of course, it went down. But, yeah, the condition it was, I submitted it as good condition, so I should get $192 for it, which is not that much less than what we paid for it. So, and then I'm using my wife's old Samsung Tab 4 7-inch because we got the new tablet from AT&T, so she's using that one and I'm using her old one. So, but I'm still waiting for the confirmation. They have to confirm the quality. If it's not up to their standards, they're just going to send it back. So,
Dan, in the world of tech, I forgot to talk about my hard drive installations.
Oh yeah.
So I upgraded both of my console hard drives. I got a 2 terabyte for each of the consoles. The Xbox really couldn't be any easier.
Yeah.
You just plug it in, external hard drive, and it'll ask if you want to format it for games, and you say yes, and that's pretty much it. And then you just have to transfer everything over to it, which took a while, but whatever.
Yeah, that was the same with the Wii U.
Yeah.
Same exact process.
PS4 is a little more involved, but it wasn't bad.
Okay.
I found good stuff to walk you through it.
I was going to ask you how the software thing is, because software is always a pain in the ass for me.
It wasn't bad. The biggest pain in the ass for me was I only have one thumb drive. So I had to take my game save files off my PS4, put them on my computer, format that. Then you have to make a folder, a PS4 folder in the thumb drive, and then make a folder that's called update in that folder. And then you have to download the latest software for the PS4 onto the thumb drive.
Yeah.
And then once you physically install the new hard drive into the system, which
was pretty easy.
It was easy. You just have to unscrew like 5 screws and pop it in, and that's it.
Yep.
And then you just put the thumb drive in and hope that you got the latest software.
Gotcha.
I guess some people have had issues with that. I guess I got lucky. I didn't have any issues with it at all, so it was actually pretty easy.
Good.
The biggest pain in the ass was just the save file thing.
Yeah. So. Probably waiting for stuff to re-download too.
I did it overnight.
Oh, okay.
I put all my game discs in before I went to bed and just had them download overnight. So that was it.
Nice. That's good. It's good that went nice and easy for you.
Riz wants us to talk about Amazon Prime Day.
Oh yeah, that was actually coming up.
Before I went to bed.
For me. So I've also been searching everywhere for the Splatoon amiibo. I want the 3-pack for the Splatoon amiibo. The little squid one has awesome in-game items.
Does it?
It looks like a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica, Corey. The helmet looks like a Cylon, and then it's like this big. I want it, so I've been looking everywhere. They're sold out everywhere. You can find scalpers selling them for at least $90, whereas the pack is normally $35. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait until I can find it, if I can find it. If I can't find it, screw it. Prime Day. Did anyone buy anything on Prime Day?
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I did.
What'd you buy?
I already talked about it. Etrian Odyssey.
Oh, that's right.
And it knocked $275 off or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, there was not a lot of things there. Like a lot of it was like cell phone cases and cables.
A lot of cell phone cases.
Yeah. Too many. There was a handful of things that were good. Like some baby stuff was a good price. Like car seats and strollers and stuff. That was okay. Some of the electronics were okay priced. There was a decent PlayStation 4 deal. But
for the console,
and a couple games, I think it was some new game, like 3 new games for $400 for the console.
Rez throws in there some good deals on women's underwear.
Probably granny panties. They're always granny panties too. They're never anything nice. But yeah, the $115 40-inch television popped up. And me and my wife had been in the market for a new television because it's got the discoloration. I think I talked about it last week, but it's got discoloration around the outside and it's starting to get like lines across on the left-hand side. So we were going to get that one, but it sold out like almost immediately. So we ended up getting a television on Woot. We got a 48-inch for $309, I think. 1080p. It's one of the Roku TVs. So it's got the Roku system built into the TV. Which is cool.
Did you say 308?
I think it was 309, 308.99 or
I have a friend that's trying to sell a TV that he used like once.
Oh, really?
I wish I had.
That's okay.
Known, yeah.
Yeah, we needed it, so it's gonna be like our current TV is 40 inches, so I'm glad that it's gonna be bigger too. That'll be nice. But yeah, that's all I got going on.
Cool.
What do you got, Corey? I'm excited for the new TV. That should come next week, though.
I don't know, guys. In my endless quest to figure out what I want to do in life, I watched The Wizard of Oz, but muted it and played Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Heard about
you
that.
really were exploring your options, weren't you, Corey?
Yes, I was. It was a fun Friday night for Corey by himself. It was interesting.
Yeah, I've heard that's cool.
It is cool. parts of it sync up really well, and when that happens, it's awesome. But then there's other parts where you're just like, eh. I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan, but what I really got out of watching the two paired together was, man, what a great movie Wizard of Oz is, and man, what a great album Dark Side of the Moon is.
Right.
Not like, the two combined. The thing I was really looking forward to, like ever since the movie started, was I wonder what song is going to be playing when Dorothy transitions from black and white to the colored land of Oz. And it was that song Money. Money, it's a crime.
You'd know it if you heard it.
Yeah, you would. And it's like, what? How is that? I don't know. Like the biggest moment in the Wizard of Oz and that Money song is like right before she walks out the door, you hear the cash register from the song Money, and it's like I don't get it.
It's a little more modern.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel right. But like some parts are so cool. Like especially leading up to when she gets to Oz, there's some parts that sync up and it's really cool. But for the most part, I was just kind of lukewarm on the whole thing. I do recommend it, but
you're a big Dark Side of the Moon fan, huh?
I again, like I've never really been into Pink Floyd that much. I've never really given them my time, but after listening to that album, it's a really good album.
I hate Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time. Maybe I'll like them now, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
You gonna get into like classic rock?
No. I mean, what kind of classic rock are we talking?
Does
that count Guns N' Roses?
No, Guns N' Roses. Well, yeah.
I like Guns N' Roses.
I like Guns N' Roses too.
I like Van Halen.
I'm more of I like a handful of songs here and there from it. I can't pick one classic rock artist and say, oh yeah, I love them, but I like a few songs here and there. But that's pretty much me with most musicians.
Yeah. I've got a few favorites that I like most of their stuff, but yeah, for the most part, it's
a song here and
hit
there.
or miss.
Yep. That's how
I love that song by Newfound Glory.
I actually like
most of their stuff.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's
awful
one of
as that
awesome.
sound.
Yeah. So I mean, I did some other things here and there, but I wanted to share that. I do recommend it. I want to find more movies that do that. There's a few good lists like on Reddit and stuff, but I don't know. That's like the classic example of pairing an album with a film.
Yeah.
But I had a good time. Doing it. My girlfriend came home from work and
the same length.
No, you actually. I think 3 times. The album plays through 3 times, or 2.5, or something like that.
God.
And like people argue about when's the perfect time to sync it up. Do you start the album when the MGM logo shows up? Some people argue like you do it on the first roar of the lion. Some people argue that it's the third roar of the lion.
Why doesn't someone just ask Pink Floyd when you're supposed to start the album?
Oh, it's not. They said it's complete bullshit that's even a thing. Like that was not their intention. The one guy joked. He's like, it's bullshit that it syncs up with Wizard of Oz because we totally meant it to be for the Sound of Music. That's the classic joke, but
I get it.
People just kind of attach this meaningless meaning to it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's cool that you did that, though.
My girlfriend didn't think so.
Why?
I don't know. She came home from work and I was just like staring at my laptop. And, like, she heard the music and then she saw I was watching The Wizard of Oz. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And of course, I just shushed her and told her to keep herself busy.
Leave you be.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Corey?
Eh.
All right. What'd you play?
Nothing. I played a little Hearthstone here and there. It sucks. I haven't done an arena run in a long time, and I did it the other night, and just kept falling asleep while I was playing. And then, of course, like I woke up in the morning with like my tablet on my chest with like the you lost screen, and like I only had 1 win in an arena run. And I was just kind of bummed. But I did try on my iPhone Million Arthur, which is Square Enix published Gameville CCG. Wow, is that game bad?
Really?
It's not fair. I played it for about 10 minutes and never got to play anything. I watched a bunch of dialogue, Like all these characters, I had no idea who they were, what they were talking about. Like I can save the kingdom and pull the sword from the stone. I'm just like watching all this stuff, and I'm like, what is going on? And then it like puts you in a battle, but you never actually control anything, and all this crazy stuff happens. And then it's like, congrats, you won, and then you level up, and it's like you can assign points to things, and I'm like, I have no idea what any of this means.
Right.
And at what point are you going to tell me? And I got real mad, and I just deleted it.
Okay.
So I don't recommend Million Arthur, but it's got pretty good reviews. But I wonder how many of those reviews are legit.
Right.
I don't know. I couldn't make any sense of what was happening, and I didn't think it was a good way to be introduced to the game the way that they did it. And I'm not playing a mobile game for a grand, epic story.
Yeah. Time killer.
Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Whatevs. But that's the only thing I tried to play. Hopefully next week I'll have some games played. I've just been busy with stupid stuff that I haven't really had a chance to sit down and play anything. But hopefully over the weekend I'll have a little time. I want to play some Rocket League. I want to try Card Hunter again on Steam. My Etrian Odyssey Mystery Dungeon should come, so I want to try that a little bit.
Right.
Hopefully I can have all that for next week.
Cool. Okay. What do you got, Eric?
I already pretty much talked about Rocket League and Batman. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I played.
Sounds good. I got a couple things. Played Bioshock Infinite and beat it.
Hey.
Thank you. My yearly Bioshock Infinite playthrough. Love it. Still going to play through the DLC probably this week. Maybe.
I don't know how you go back and play these games every year.
Well, one of the things I like to do is pick up on stuff that I missed the first handful of times playing through, especially in Bioshock Infinite. Like, there's a lot of stuff to miss. Yeah, so that's my yearly playthrough. I should come up with a list of, because there's a handful of games that I'm going to play through again. Like, I want to play through the Metro series again, but there's also like new games that I want to play. And touch on my backlog a little bit while I have open time. Because September, new games are going to start coming out. I won't have as much time to play older stuff. So, yeah, beat Bioshock Infinite. I still have to do the DLC. I want to do Barrel at Sea Part 1 and 2. Like I said, hopefully by next week I'll have played those and can report on them. I beat Splatoon, the single player. Thank you. I enjoyed the single player in Splatoon. It was fun. Good puzzles. Good boss fights.
I heard the boss fights were good.
The boss fights were very good. The last boss fight especially was pretty darn good. I don't really know what happened in the story, but I was able to collect all the sea scrolls that you get, and you get like special equipment unlocks for those. So I did that. I already talked about my multiplayer Splatoon experience earlier, so I won't get into that again. And then I started playing Remember Me again. I talked about the stuff in Batman that jogged my memory about Remember Me, so I fired that one up. I think I'm like halfway through it at this point. I like that game. It was fun.
It was all right.
Yeah, I actually like it more, I think, this second time I'm playing through it. The combat reminds me a lot of Bayonetta. Not as good, but it's in that same vein. So I have a better grasp on it than I did when I first played. I remember having trouble with it the first time I played through it. But the memory remix stuff is all really, really well done. I wish there was more of those. I think there's only 3 of them in the whole game. That was kind of the hook for that game, was the memory remixing. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a short game. I think it's 8 or 9 hours. So, like I said, I'm about halfway through that. Graphics are really nice still. I was kind of surprised at how nice it looked. So,
should I play this one? I know I didn't play it last year.
You can try it.
No.
I don't think you'd like it, but yeah, you can try it. I think the science fiction, the memory hook thing is kind of neat, but
yeah.
Not enough of it.
I don't mean that, but I mean like what memories mean to an individual and stuff. Like the science fiction type of aspect to it, I think is really interesting. Because there's a company essentially that trademarks your memories, and you can upload them and share them with other people, and like what that means to an individual and losing your individuality, which is kind of ties in with Facebook and Instagram, everyone putting everything about their lives on that. I think it's kind of I guess, allegory of that. So.
Speaking of that, I did watch another movie this past week called Ex Machina.
Oh yes, that's I almost rented that.
Yeah, definitely recommend it. It's really interesting, and the corporation in that is sort of a metaphor for Google and what Google's doing, and how that can play into artificial intelligence and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting.
That's what I like about science fiction is the looking ahead at what problems humanity can face and dealing with them then. Like, which is one of the reasons why I like 1984 so much. I don't think anyone can say 1984 is not important, you know?
Not prophetic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he went into the future and anyway, that's for another conversation for another time. So I'm really liking Remember Me, and then I played briefly Rocket League, which I talked about. I only played about an hour, so I don't have a great feel for the game yet, but I did really like what I played so far. It's a blast, absolutely. Eric sent me the game for an early birthday present, so thank you.
I couldn't have you guys not playing it,
especially now because we're going to be able to group up.
Yeah.
That PS4 players and Steam players can play against each other, but there's no like grouping mechanic. So I guess in the next Rocket League patch they're going to work on that, so we'll be able to group up and be on a team and stuff. So
will we be able to chat?
I don't know. We might have to like Skype or something.
I don't know if my bandwidth can handle that.
Maybe try it on your phone.
Huh?
That probably wouldn't use as much bandwidth, and maybe just the audio and turn the video off. You know,
we need landlines. Get a good old fashioned conference call going.
No shit.
Yeah.
Corey nailed it.
You'd think it'd be easier nowadays, you know?
Yeah.
Although our internet sucks around here, so there's that. And that's all I played, I think.
Dan, I'm wondering if you and I, because we're going to be sharing the game.
Yeah.
And it gives you like a long 5 minutes. Like if I'm playing your Rocket League and you log in and want to play Rocket League, it gives me a good 5 minutes to log out. I wonder if that would give us enough time to get into a game and play a quick one.
Maybe we should test that
That'd
out.
Be a good experiment.
I think 5 minutes is enough time if you find a match quickly.
Well, I think it would be just you versus me, right?
I don't know. I don't know how the game works, so I don't know.
We could probably just do like I could set up a
one-on-one.
Yeah, I think. See, I didn't play enough to get a good feel for what the online is like.
Mm-hmm.
And play the online. Can you set up like invite someone and
private match?
Yeah, private match.
Yeah,
that's what we should do. We should try it.
Be a good test because it says it gives you 5 minutes, but I think I feel like I've timed it and it's a good long 5 minutes.
Okay. Cool. We should try it. That'd be a fun experiment.
Illegal Rocket Leaguing.
Yeah. Get banned. Perma-banned from Steam.
Perma-banned.
If I got perma-banned from Steam,
end it.
What has this all been for?
Yeah. This is like scuba diving.
Do they
Creed.
do perma-bans?
I don't know. Probably.
I think
you just make another account.
No, I think you get warnings and stuff. I think they mostly do that for hackers and cheaters. Like we would just kind of be
experimenting,
taking advantage of one of their features. I don't know that they would ban us for that. I would hope not.
For science.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just say we were testing things out. But I think they give you you might get like a 5-day ban or something like that. So, but anyway, we're gonna take a quick break and get some feedback ready, and we'll be right back right after this. I got to download the feedback. I was trying to do it while we were recording, but I have to sign into the account and stuff, which means remembering the password.
Oh, that's the worst.
I know it.
Money. It's crime.
No.
New car caviar for star daydream.
My ass.
Oh, it's a good album.
No. Can't do it, man.
Uh-oh.
What?
Netflix just announced some pricing news that will leave you heartbroken.
Oh no, you fuckers.
I thought they were only going to raise the price for people whose accounts lapse or sign up for new accounts. I don't want to pay more for it. I only watch Futurama at night.
Pricing increase.
Where? Where are you seeing this?
Uprocks.
What is it?
Guardian is reporting it. Netflix CEO tells subscribers to brace for higher priced plans in the future.
Oh.
That doesn't sound like it. That sounds like clickbait.
Yeah, that sounds like a slow news night.
No, it's on the Guardian.
I know, but it sounds like clickbait.
Why is that clickbait?
Because they're not saying it.
They
Of
didn't
course
say
there's going to be higher prices in the future.
Netflix CEO tells subscribers to brace for higher price plans in the future. How is that not news?
Because it's in the
Because
future.
it's not news until it happens.
It's news when the CEO of Netflix says we're going to be raising prices soon.
Disagree.
I'm with Eric on this
You
one.
guys are
It
crazy.
says it's future. He doesn't say soon. Future could mean
it could mean 3 years from now.
yeah.
Well, let me read the article.
Someone text me the password for this. I don't want to screw around with it.
Coming at you, Dan.
Because I know we have like 5 or 6 that we, or
Do we?
4 or 5 that we use.
I thought we unified them.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think we still have some accounts that are on the old password.
I don't know. Netflix would have to raise the price quite a bit for me to be like, I don't need this.
Me too, Corey.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really only watch Futurama at night on Netflix, so it probably wouldn't be, because I have all the DVDs. But I don't want stuff, so.
Tito's siding with Corey on the news.
Yeah, because Tito's a rational, intelligent man.
Well, what if it doesn't happen for 2 years? Then it's not news today.
Sure it is.
No, it's
Netflix
not.
CEO Reed Hastings told investors on Wednesday that the company was preparing to carefully push consumers toward higher price plans in the U.S. in the coming years.
Oh, you know what that means, Corey? Because the HD plan is more expensive, and I think that's probably what they want to push people into.
What?
The Ultra HD 4K streaming, that's going to be more expensive, but people already know that. So they're going to try. I think
I'm not talking about this with you guys anymore. You're crazy. You're two
what he's trying
crazy,
to say,
crazy
they're
men.
They're going to try and push people into the 4K plans. I think that's what it is. Don't you dare sass me, Corey.
Hey, Corey's awfully sassy right now.
All right.
I'm not even
Oh, for
seeing
God's
this
sake.
anywhere. This is all bullshit, if you ask me.
Clickbait. It's clickbait.
Oh my god. I gotta go.
Fellas, it's Ryan and I.
Totally agree, Dan. What happened in Chattanooga?
Oh, there's a shooting in Chattanooga.
And the parking garage in Johnson City collapsed.
What?
Hey guys, this is Tito from
You hear
LA.
about that?
In Johnson City, New York?
At
Yeah.
UHS, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't found about anybody getting hurt.
No, I don't think anybody did. My wife told me about it before I came down. Otherwise, I would have had no idea. Because I don't. I'm with you, Eric. I don't follow any news stuff.
No. And if
Okay.
I did follow news, I certainly wouldn't consider this Netflix any part of it.
Clickbait. Just teasing you, Corey. Even though I do think it is.
Fun in
clickbait.
his bunions.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Ignorance doesn't upset me, Dan. It's okay.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 208 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. We are now in our feedback segment. Now, as far as I know, we got 2 voicemails for feedback, so I'm going to play both of those. I don't believe we got anything else. I think our email seems to be clean.
That's the consensus we came to.
Okay. But if you sent us something last minute, we didn't get to it, just let us know, and we'll cover it next week. All right, here we go. Here's the first voicemail.
Hey guys, this is Tito from LA. Just real quickly, I had a lot of fun playing Rocket League with Eric, and we played a couple matches with a couple of my buddies. Really, really fun game. It's actually gotten me and my PS4 buddies away from Destiny, which is a good thing. So finally, maybe we can move on until the Taken King comes out, but I'm not even sure if I really want to continue doing that. I'm pretty burnt out for the most part. I'm burnt out on most games now. I kind of realize I'm not really into getting into too much right now. I'm just doing games that are match based, like Heroes of the Storm, Rocket League. Like these little mini, spurts of 10 to 20-minute games, which is good. I don't know. Maybe that's me growing up, but I guess I'm kind of waiting on the next adventure, the next game that's up my alley to get into. That may or may not be No Man's Sky, but that left me wondering. I don't know if they'll have a cross-platform like Rocket League does between the PC and the PS4, but which of you guys plans on getting No Man's Sky and what platform will you get it for? Because I'm trying to make a decision and I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards PC, but if everyone's getting it on PS4, I know it's not a multiplayer game, but still, that might make me buy it for PS4. And in terms of the question of the week, I can't. The only game I can think of I beat was Destiny. That's the last game I know of, and honestly, that's such a awful. There's nothing story related to give you any insight into the protagonist, which is just your character.
Yeah.
I mean, I could pick a character from the game, but even then, I just don't. The story sucks, so I have no clue. So, thank you. I'll see you guys around.
All right, thanks, Tito. Tito, I don't think that's you not getting into games. I think that's more of a summer thing.
Yeah,
I just think that's what happens to people, this time of year. Because I too, not that I'm having trouble getting into things, but I do too find myself like one of the reasons why I like Splatoon so much. 3-minute matches and then it's over. Like that's perfect because if I have a few minutes here and there, like it's one of the games I can play with my kids around because it's not, there's not gut splattering everywhere when an inkling gets splattered. It's just it's paint. Yeah, exactly. My son always is like, "Hey, Daddy, can you play the painting game?" I'm like, "Yes, I can." So yeah, I think that sort of thing lends itself more towards summer. You're also probably gearing up towards fall, right? I mean, that's really when the weather starts to suck.
If I move to Virginia, am I gonna not want to play video games?
No, you still want to play video games.
You're right.
It gets kind of cold there. You won't get like the snow that we do, but it'll still be like in the 30s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You still get autumn.
Yeah, it'll be
autumn's my favorite.
It's like being fall all winter, and then you occasionally get snow, but the whole state is shut down when you get snow.
That sounds perfect.
Yep. And you'll be like, "What the hell?" Like,
yeah, it's like half an inch of snow. I'm like, "What are you, bunch of pussies?"
Yeah, exactly.
I'm out cruising the streets, nobody else, just me and my buddy Jeff that lives down there.
Yep. Nice. Oh, it's crazy how little snow it takes to shut the place down anymore. What was
No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky. Yes.
Who's buying it? Huh? Me.
I mean, I think we're all getting it, right? I'm buying it.
Corey probably won't like it.
I doubt Corey will like it.
Well, you guys, I'm starting my own podcast.
Shit. Are you gonna get it, Corey?
Probably. Kind of have to, right? It's like one of those games.
It's the game, really, that you have to get.
Well, you'll get it for PC.
Yeah, I don't have a choice.
Same with Dan.
I'm getting it with PC because I don't have a choice. I think Will and Eric are the ones that would get it for PS4.
I'm getting it for PS4.
And I don't know if there's cross-platform multiplayer because there is like I don't know if everyone's just going to be in the same solar system. Like I don't know how that's going to work.
Honestly, if the game is a $20 or $30 game, and there is some sort of multiplayer thing that I find interesting, I would consider getting it for both.
Getting it for both. Okay.
My guess is it is cross-platform.
I would think so.
If I had to bet money, I would bet that yes, it is. It's more a shared universe than it is like multiplayer.
Right. Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be a way to like share coordinates with, your real life friends and stuff, and
your bros.
See if you can meet up.
I don't think so. I think it's just like the economics side of it. You can meet up at like trading stations.
Yeah.
But in terms of like come to this planet where I'm at, I don't know. The vibe I get anyway is that that's not the case.
Yeah. So it probably doesn't matter what platform you get it for, whatever you're most comfortable playing it on, I guess.
It just seems like a lot of work for them to segment the two, considering like the scope of what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. And like I wasn't sure, how that would be possible, but Rocket League has cross-platform multiplayer, so it's obviously not super difficult to do,
Yeah.
I always thought Xbox was the one that would have the leg up on that, but Rocket League, it's fine, So sharing servers. I keep saying more games should do that.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it.
There's no reason not to. What else did Tito have? No Man's Sky.
That was about it. He talked about Rocket League. Yeah.
And then is the question of the week. Yeah, Destiny, not much story there. Unfortunately.
No, none.
But I hope you're able to get back into it, Tito, once the expansion comes out.
I feel like I missed out on all that. That's still a game I want to play.
Yeah. I keep saying, if it comes out on PC, I will definitely buy it. No question.
I think we'll get Destiny 2 on PC.
Yeah, I would think that if Destiny was going to come out on PC, we would have heard something about it.
Yep.
There's just been nothing. Like, I thought they were going to announce that at E3.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where they kind of weighed their options and said, well, we're already working on Destiny 2. Instead of going through the effort to get Destiny 1 out on PC, we'll just, I don't know.
Give you this hot pile here. Yeah. Actually really like Destiny.
Yeah. I think part of my dislike for it was just not liking shooters on it with a controller very much. I think Splatoon is okay because of the roller, like old people like me who were never very good with first person shooters on console anyway. I play so much better with a keyboard and mouse. So I think that was part of it for me. But so thanks, Tito. Good to hear from you, Tito. Let's play our next voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, fellas? It's Ryan in Iowa. I know Will's going to be back this week, so
Sorry,
I thought
Ryan.
I would answer his
actually.
question from the previous episode that he had about the Brandon Saad trade to the Columbus Blue Jackets. So what happened there was, from what I've gathered, is Saad gave his agent all of the power, and his agent did not discuss with Saad how they were going to, where their breaking point was. And so the GM for the Blackhawks, Stan Bowman, once he realized that they were going to be at least $1 million apart, and then he got wind that there was two teams, one of them being Pittsburgh, the other might have been the Blue Jackets, the other one might have been the Canadiens, from what I read, that were considering giving an offer sheet. Then he realized, all right, we're probably not going to get this deal done. He's going to get offer sheeted. We're not going to be able to keep Saad. We're going to have an assload of compensatory picks next year, but that's not what they needed. They needed some role guys and, somebody else to kind of fill that need if Richards left, which he ended up doing. So I think the deal that we got back was pretty good in the sense that this I haven't seen a lot of him, but this Artem Isamov dude, however you say his name, apparently he's a pretty legit second center if he stays healthy, and I think that's the big question. You guys have probably seen him more in the East, but
former Ranger.
I'm glad we got him, and he's locked in now for 5 years, and he's younger than me. He's 28 or something like that. So he should be really coming into his prime. And then we got the Blue Jackets' number one prospect, who is this Marko Dano kid, who is another Slovak and is looking forward to playing with Hossa, I guess. And he's pretty flashy, and he could be a smaller version of Saad, I think. So I think we got some good return for those guys. Then we got two role player guys, one who was on the Blackhawks, and this kid named Jeremy Morin. I doubt that Q's going to play him because him and Q butted heads, I guess, and that's why we traded him last season for a seventh pick or something like that, a seventh round pick. But hopefully that answers your question. Well, there was a lot of, I guess Saad was really upset, not just on Reddit, but a bunch of other fairly reputable sources were just oh, Brandon Saad is really disappointed he didn't get that deal done. But at the same time, he wasn't at the table and he let his like agent do all of it, and his agent kind of fucked it up because I guess he was like the lowest that they could go was like 6.2 or something like that, and Stan Bowman was like, no, all we could do room wise is $5 million a year. So the Sharp trade, I kind of agree with the dudes from the Puck podcast. If you listen to it this week, I think we got back a pretty decent return. I kind of wish that we didn't give up like our number one AHL D prospect in the Stephen Johns dude, who's basically an unpolished version of Seabrook. So that was a little disappointing, but I think Daly's going to slide in fine, and Garbutt's going to play on the third or fourth line, and we're just kind of stacking up role players right now. I know that you guys got our backup goalie, Antti Ranta. He's fucking really good. I hope you guys enjoy him when he, helps out King Lundqvist. Eric, I'm sure you're going to make some comments about the Lady O'Reilly already fitting in, fucking drinking beers in a blue-collar town and like whatever else he was like busted for. I fucking hate that dude, by the way, as like as somebody who sees the Avs as like my number one like hated team, probably even more than the Blues, to be honest. Yeah, I fucking hate Ryan O'Reilly. He gives all Ryans a shitty name. But that being said, so there's the hockey talk for the moment, or this episode, I guess. Thanks a bunch, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Ryan actually asked about our bandwidth, and what I wanted to say was, we used to have like a lot more bandwidth than we do now, but it was also really expensive. So you'll probably notice like we don't talk about sports as much. Because we don't have as much extra. Usually at the end of the month, we're trying to cram in and make sure we have enough bandwidth to get our episodes in. We used to have like, I think it was a gigabyte, didn't we? And now we're only 400 megs of bandwidth. So yeah, we try not to get off topic as much because we used to spend like an hour on sports or movies or whatever. So we haven't been getting off topic as much because we don't have as much spare bandwidth. I do think I'm going to up the cap a little bit, but it costs money, obviously. So that's why like especially at the end of the month. We're trying to cram in. A lot of times I have to compress the episode at a lower bit rate so that it fits in. Like, was it last month? It fit in. It was under 1 megabyte that we had left. So, yeah, that's why we haven't been getting off topic as much. Like we used to, like I said, go on hour-long tangents about whatever. But we try to stay a little more focused this time. So. Unfortunately, Will wasn't here to answer your question, but I'm sure he will next week. So, any thoughts, Corey?
Yeah, I had some thoughts.
What's up?
I kind of think just briefly. I know we don't want to talk too much hockey, but the whole like agent-player relationship I think can be really confusing, and I think sometimes players will hide behind that so they don't look bad. They may or may not want more money. I don't know if that's the case here with Brandon Saad. I kind of thought that was the case with Ryan Callahan when they couldn't get the deal done with the Rangers. I don't know. I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway, I'm surprised that Brandon Saad, like, he's a real good player. Is he coming off his rookie contract? Is this his first?
I don't know.
I want to say yes.
That's a lot of money. And I like what the Rangers do. They and a lot of people think they're stupid, but I like bridge contracts. That bridges between your rookie contract and then your long-term contract. It's usually like a 2-year deal or something, because you never know. Like Peter Pruka for the Rangers was a 20-goal rookie. He ended up being garbage for the most part. And if they sign him to a big contract after that first year, you kind of screw yourselves. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of the bridge deals. I don't know enough. Say again.
They just to see how they pan out for another couple years.
Yeah, and if the player doesn't like it, tough. There's other places to go play hockey. I don't know enough about the Brandon Saad situation though to really comment on that, but I don't know. I think players sometimes use their agent as a scapegoat.
And the agent probably doesn't mind because they're wetting their beak.
Sure. Sure.
So I'd be like, yeah, you can label me as the bad guy. I'll get you an extra whatever.
And the way I kind of look at it is if like all this stuff is happening and my agent isn't communicating it to me, then I'm getting a new agent.
Right. Yeah. I hear you.
But again, I don't know enough about this. I wish Will was here because he knows more about it than I do.
Right. Okay. That's it for feedback, right?
Oh, Artem Anisimov. I love that guy.
Yeah. And Ryan O'Reilly I wanted to touch on briefly.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Corey.
No, I just wanted to say I'll never forget when Anisimov, I think it was against Tampa Bay Lightning, scored the goal and turned around and used his stick as a gun to shoot the goalie.
Oh, Tim?
That was fantastic.
I don't remember. I believe he did.
I think he got a game or two suspension.
It wasn't well received.
No, not at all. The other team jumped him. But it was funny because Sean Avery had been thrown out of that game, and he was sitting in the locker room. And this was during the 24/7. So when you went back and watched the 24/7, they show Artem Anisimov going into the locker room because he had gotten thrown out of the game after doing that. And Sean Avery was just sitting in the locker room all by himself, and they just looked at each other and started laughing. It was a great moment.
Nice. All right, Eric Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, I just wanted to read brief report so we could clear up.
Oh, gotcha.
Just 6 days after signing the richest contract in Buffalo Sabres history, center Ryan O'Reilly was arrested last week and charged with driving a motor vehicle, which turned out to be his 1951 Chevrolet pick-em-up truck. Driving the vehicle, ability impaired, and leaving the scene of the accident where he ran into Tim Hortons cafe and bake shop at 4:05 a.m. in Ontario.
It's not funny, but
it's kind of funny. Nobody got hurt. You can chuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fitting right in out there, isn't he?
Man,
That's crazy.
him and Eichel are going to have themselves a real good
Oh
time.
my God, the two of them are going to party their asses off.
Canada probably wouldn't have cared, but he crashed into with Tim Hortons, and that's inexcusable. Inexcusable.
Oh,
That's
Will,
treason.
I was talking to Will before I came over here. He said that apparently O'Reilly just got this truck like 2 weeks ago, and he was really excited about it and been posting pictures of it on like Instagram. They fucking crashed it into Tim Hortons. You know, if it's 4:05 in the morning and you're hammered, you just need some Timmy Hoes.
You need some Timmy Hoes, yeah, some donuts and coffee.
You know,
from Timmy Hoes.
Work off your hangover, and
it's good stuff.
Was this the same week that the coach or whatever got arrested for?
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills offensive line coach got arrested for beating up a young man on a beach. The O-line coach goes 6'4". So, yeah. Well, I haven't seen an official age for the kid that he beat up, but I'm assuming it was a teenager.
I told Eric that the kid was no doubt being a prick.
Oh my God, yes.
So he probably had something.
At the same time, like,
nah, he's fine.
Yeah, how about walking away? You know, man, he was probably a little sauced up.
Probably.
If I had to guess.
Why not?
Probably both were.
It was over some beach chairs.
Oh, it's a good fight.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Wanted to throw some haymakers at some teens over some beach chairs.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Dan, we did get one other piece of feedback from Idaho Jake.
Cool.
Via email.
Nice.
Hey guys, I rented Batman, and I agree with Dan. The Batmobile is awesome, and I actually prefer driving it over gliding. But all in all, a great game so far. Mm-hmm. As for my top game so far, I would have to say Witcher 3, Dying Light, Batman, Rocket League, and Ark.
Uh-huh.
I do feel like I'm missing one, and I'm sure you guys will mention it. I think my question of the week was in last week's feedback.
Gotcha.
What was the question, Corey?
Well, we're there, so we might as well go right into it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question of the week last 2 weeks, actually, was the protagonist of the last video game you beat is your new roommate. What do you do to accommodate him or her?
Jake's was AJ Gale, or Gale, I don't know, however you want to pronounce it.
What was that?
Oh, Far Cry.
Oh.
He did send us something on Twitter about it. Let me pull it up.
Well, in the meantime, Eric, while you're pulling that up, I believe the last game I beat was Invisible Ink.
Yes.
So the protagonist is arguably Decker or one of the other
Yeah. Agents.
So in considering the amount of hacking that goes on in that game, I would ensure there were no electronics in and around their bedroom or mine. And I would make sure they didn't have access to any of my computer systems or anything like that, because that would be frightening.
Yeah, they would get all your data.
Right, yeah. That's another hard one, though. You need more. You need like a Witcher or something for a good...
They'd get all your nude selfies.
Yeah, my nude... I was going to make an inappropriate joke. Never mind.
Just make it. Who cares?
Nope. I don't want the FCC to shut us down.
I'm coming past for the joke now, Corey.
Now it won't be funny.
No. He said AJ Gal from Far Cry 4, and he would eat with chopsticks and get gun racks and gun cabinets for every room.
Oh, that's nice of him.
That's how he restocks his ammo.
Uh-huh.
Gun racks?
Gun cabinets.
Gun cabinets.
Cool. I went with Batman, actually, because when you first asked the question, that was the first game I would have beaten or did beat. And I don't know that we wouldn't stay in. Me and Batman would hit the town.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, I would have him. I'm too much of a wuss to, like, fight crime. So I would go out with Batman, fight some crime, and know he would protect me.
So would you sit in the back seat that comes out?
I'd watch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch.
Just take it in.
Yeah, I would know that he would keep me safe. And because, like I said, I'm too much of a wuss to do that thing on my own. So
would it be Batman or would it be Bruce Wayne?
it would be Batman. Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be Batman. He's kind of a prick.
Well, he is kind of a prick. Because you play as Batman, you don't play as Bruce Wayne, really. You know, how funny would it be if they made a Batman game where you were Bruce Wayne and you just walked around and made business transactions?
Passed out your business card.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's Rocksteady's new project.
Do some stock trading or whatever. Order some interns around. That'd be fun.
But most of it is you actually play Alfred and you drive him around.
Yeah.
Oh,
As
now
a
we're
chauffeur.
talking.
Yeah.
That's a new take.
Chauffeur sim.
That's a new take. You chauffeur Bruce Wayne around to social events.
Yeah.
Let's do a Kickstarter for that game. And just keep the money.
I think I'd rather kickstart a corned beef sandwich like that one guy did.
It was potato salad.
Potato salad.
Yeah, but then he went and threw like a potato salad party and donated the money and stuff.
Jake says you could be the new Oracle.
I could be the new Oracle. I don't even know if I'm tech savvy enough to be the new Oracle.
What's the Oracle?
It's part of the game, Corey. Don't worry about it. You have to play it.
Yeah, play. Well, no, I don't know.
No, don't play it, but I can't tell you.
I think Corey would hate Batman.
I can't get it on PC.
No, I heard not until September. That's when they think it's going to finally be fixed.
Oh my god.
How do you drop the ball that badly?
They did, man. That's it, Dan.
Okay. What about you, Eric? What was your...
I don't know what the last game I beat was.
I can
It's
call
been
it-
too damn long.
I can call it up right now. Oh, no, I'm not connected to the internet. Well, I think these are saved for offline. Yep. Battlefield Hardline, Hotline Miami 2.
Oh,
The order.
drugs and weapons.
Bayonetta 2, which we joked about.
God, I don't even know. Drugs and weapons. Corey's right.
Hotline Miami 2.
Maybe that would be a good time to do our Adderall test.
There you go.
I'd bring a case of Adderall and maybe paintball guns so we didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could get out of hand.
All right.
I like that. Okay. Any other thoughts? Did you have anything?
I have a very straightforward question for question of the week next week.
Cool.
What's your game of the year so far?
Oh.
Very simple. One game. That's all I want to hear.
Yeah. One game.
And feel free to say why.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Any other thoughts?
No.
No, sir. It's
Okay.
bedtime.
It is bedtime. Well, no, not for me. It's not.
No.
For most
It
other
is for
people,
me.
it is. That'll do it for episode 208 of Thumbstick Athletes Podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Eric.
Corey.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement. Okay.
Otoko no tachi wa. I drank 2 Monster Energy drinks.